and few of them not familiar, it's fine. So, you know, so this year I have cleared, UPSC and got 795 rank. So basically, I'll be, what I've thought about today's is, few of them were asking in the previous classes, few things with respect to essay, few things with respect to your optional choosing, how to analyze the paper, and how to, some do's and don'ts with respect to the prelims exam. So I'll discuss these particular thing in the next 1 hour 20 minutes, and the last 40 minutes we'll have a question answer session. Is that fine? Yes. So first, I will discuss about do's and don'ts for your prelims especially. So today is again, since prelims is near, KPSC another, I think 60-70 days, and UPSC is roughly 40 days. So some don'ts, some do's, in the last phase of your preparation. So I think you are aware of the prelims, the basics, sources and all, right? You don't need all those particular things. Is there anyone who needs it? Is there anyone I can tell? Otherwise, we'll just skip that part. You want? Okay, it's just a basic thing. If you want anyone who's willing, you can just write it down. For Lakshmikant, I mean, for your polity, obviously Lakshmikant is the Bible. There is no doubt. But just that, remember, every line, every word is important. You should not like you should skim everything over there and finish off your Lakshmikant in 5 hours. It will take roughly it will take 15 hours. So make sure. Yeah, so make sure you are doing your Lakshmikant thoroughly. The sufficient or the idealistic way when you are doing for your prelims, at least 3 times revision should be there before you are giving your prelims. That is a bare minimum you can actually do. Then obviously for your modern history, you can either refer Spectrum or Bipin Chandra, any one, not obviously both. Usually people do is someone was showing me yesterday that they'll do Plasi to partition also, NCERT also, Tamil Nadu ka books also. You don't need to do all this. There is only one source, but the same source repeating again and again, because you need to have that particular memory, right? So then you can ancient and medieval, if you know the story, such is the story, right? If you know the story, then you can just read about Lucent GK, which is just 80 pages. So it is observed since 2018 in the ancient medieval question they have been asking. So it is observed that from Lucent GK at least 4 to 5 questions will be coming, and roughly out of 10. The remaining 5 won't be there in anywhere. You have to Google it only. But Lucent GK is is having a track record of having 4 to 5 questions, right? So if you don't know the story, then obviously read your old NCERT, Satish Chandra, and I think what's the author's name? Ancient. Satish Chandra is for medieval, right? Ancient also old NCERT, that orange color ka book, right? So you can read those 2 particular books. Then geography, obviously NCERT 11th and 12th only. Human geography odru prayojanali enu barala adinda. So just read the physical geography part. If you really want to brush up little more, maybe you can read GC Leong, that to the physical geography part, the geomorphology part, not the complete thing, right? Then economy, any good source, there is no one source which can actually tell it's a good source. So maybe you can take Ronald sir's notes, or you can take your don't read one very famous book. Adinda you won't understand. Obviously I cannot name it who, but I think people have understood which book I'm referring to. Don't refer that book. Okay, so it will be counterproductive for you. Ronald sir is very much decent. You can read that particular notes. Okay. Then what else is there? Science and tech, it's majorly current affairs. If you don't know, if you come from commerce or arts background, you don't know anything, then maybe you can read 9th and 10th standard, the basics part, but don't make any notes or anything, directly come to the current affairs. Environment also, again, any standard particular book right now, they're not asking any basics. Always the application based or current affairs based only is coming. So that also current affairs you can just follow. And when it comes to the current affairs, I personally used to here in Bangalore you get only the Hindu, fortunately. So but I will tell you to read Indian Express. It's a I personally used to read that particular, and I should really like Indian Express. So if at all you're reading online, maybe you can read Indian Express as well. Okay. So other than that, any monthly compilation or PT of any particular institute will work out. You can not pinpoint anything, but anywhere it can going to work out. That's the basic sources. No need to make notes for anything. No need to make notes for anything. It itself is a note. Lakshmikant is a notes. Spectrum is a notes. You cannot make notes ka notes. Maybe you can just highlight the important part which you need again and again revision. Other than that, no need to make notes of it. Otherwise, ನೀವು 100 ಪೇಜ್ ಇರೋದನ್ನ ಮತ್ತೆ 50 ಪೇಜ್ ನೋಟ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಈ ಕಡೆ 50 pages ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೀಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಇಟ್ ವೋಂಟ್ ಬಿ ಎನಫ್. you will be scoring poor marks, then again you will shift back to the original notes. What is the point? Right? So you don't have to refer, I mean, you don't have to make any particular notes. So that is with respect to your basic, you know, basic sources. So first I'll discuss about don'ts. Yeah, some of the don'ts of this particular one is being perfect. Being perfect in reading, in preparation, in notes making. You cannot be perfect in this exam. It may be UPSC or KPSC, and whatever I'm going to refer to the strategy part now, it remains same for all the exams. See, before UPSC, I have cleared SSC CGL, I have cleared IBPS, I have cleared ESIC, I have cleared your SBI PO. I have cleared these particular exams, but I have not joined. Some other time I'll discuss why I didn't join that particular part. But what remains the same is process and approach. Whatever it is there, it remains the same. It doesn't change. It's just that syllabus changes, exam pattern changes. But how you study, what do you study, that doesn't change. Okay, so whatever don'ts I'm telling, you cannot be perfect in anything. One particular topic will come up. You will read it from the standard book also, current affairs hotira. You go to Google also, you go to YouTube also. I want to know everything anta. 5 hours spend ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ, ಒಂದು ವಾರದಲ್ಲಿ ಮರ್ತು ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀರಾ. What is the point? Yes or no? So there is no point of being perfect, and being perfect of how many things? There is no end source. You know the syllabus. There is no end to it. To be, on particular statistical studies says it takes 5 years to finish the syllabus of UPSC. 5 years if you want to do perfectly. So do you have patience? Attempt kortidre eno madakagalla, but everyone comes here only for one attempt, right? So maximum 2 or 3 attempts they will come. But 5 years it will take. So how much perfect you are going to do, and what is the maximum marks till in the last 78 years UPSC Topper has scored? I think it was Anudeep Duri Shetty who scored the highest. So till now it is only the record. How much is the record? 47.5%. You just have to score 47.5% to be AIR1. That's it. You don't have to get 100%. So don't be perfect in reading or any particular subject or any topic. Or don't be perfect. What you have to do is read it. You have remembered it, artha aito, skipped it, move to the next subject. Topics change ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗಿ, ಪೂರ್ತಿ subjects ಮಾಡಿ. Collective ಆಗಿ comprehensive revision works. Individual revision doesn't work. I hope everyone understands by that. Comprehensive revision. That means you are reading everything again and again, you are repeating the cycle. Rather than reading individual topic or individual subject again and again and skipping the remaining things, that won't work. Because some year, let us say, history will be a major subject, some year polity will be a major subject, some year economy will be a major subject. You cannot predict it. UPSC or KPSC, they're very unpredictable. UPSC is with respect to the academics part, and KPSC is with respect to the examination itself. So very unpredictable. You don't know when, what is going to come. So make sure you're reading everything. Don't leave any particular topic or subject, right? So first, don't become perfect. Second, not having, let us say, guidance. So all of you came to this particular building, right? This is in the 3rd floor, 2nd or 3rd floor, right? So that particular small doorway was there, that is your prelims. But this whole building is your mains. Maybe the terrace, maybe the interview. But the whole building is what? Majorly your mains ka thing. But ee road poorti jana tumbidare just to enter to that particular, small gate. It's a very small gateway. That is only prelims. With respect to hard work, academics, skills, work, whatever it is, it's a very small thing compared to the mains part. Mains is really, 10 times more with respect to the knowledge and skill part. But everyone has to enter from that particular gateway only. So prelims is a gateway. This whole building is your mains. But some of you took stairs, right? Some of you took your, what do you call, lift. Steps, whatever steps you took, one floor is like one attempt. You will reach little slowly. But if you have a guidance or a mentor, lift al banbudtira. So what I mean to say is, you will take less time to finish your thing, because a guide or a mentor will tell you what mistakes you don't have to do. That's a very important part. So make sure that you have a particular guide or a mentor, not just for academics, but even for as a moral support or something. Because in this exam, I have seen, I myself has been an aspirant, I've been a teacher. So I know what it is, it will take a toll on your mental health. So you need a particular person to, you can share your problems, or, a particular, every time supporting you. So you need a particular guide or a mentor with respect to this. So you find it, it may be a senior, it may be a faculty, it may be a mentor, whomever it is. You search it, but you need a particular person. ಇವಾಗ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು you'll be the single ಬಾಹುಬಲಿ here, I'll do everything ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋದ್ರೆ ಬಾಹುಬಲಿಗೆ ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಗೆ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಹೇಳಿ ಕಟಪ್ಪ, he gave that only. Even you will be left out in between only. So don't think you are a bahubali and all. Everyone here, people are cleared, people are still preparing, everyone needs a guidance. So make sure you are approaching those particular people who have expertise in the examination, right? So third particular don'ts, if I have to mention, if first being perfect, not having guidance. Third majorly, not understanding demand of the question, demand of the examination. So why do you think UPSC or KPSC, why do you have prelims? Like, let's make it interactive. Why do you think you have prelims? What is the point? Studying 7 subjects, reading 2 years of current affairs. Why? At the end of the day, you have to do law and order, what a revenue person does, what a IAS does, what a KAS does, what a police does. But why do you have to study all this current affairs and then get to the exam? Why do you think? Answer. Huh? Jack of all trade. In that, if you learn everything, how will you become jack of all trade? Just the some part of it. What a police officer will do by reading geography? What does he do? Disaster adaga our police will come into play. Adikoskara you will read geography. Huh? Then why? See, understand this prelims means personality or your interview. So prelims is about basically testing your time management. Time management, okay. So one thing I just want to mention to you. So just understand, okay. One particular figure I'll give you. So just for your reference it is. I personally believe these examination and all, is not knowledge based exam. It is only 25% of knowledge. Otherwise, a scholar or a person who is in IIT or let us say IISc, a proper scholar who is expert in the knowledge would have made a bureaucrat. Why, it's open for everyone? Why it is open for everyone? If at all it was knowledge based, why only those particular, we could have got those people and made the bureaucrats, right? So I personally believe it is 25% knowledge. 10% luck factor will come into play. 25%, there is a particular skill game. And you understand what is a craft? You understand what is craft? You understand what is craft? What? Making a product, okay. What is it? What is Virat Kohli known for? Arey, you RCB people, tell. You are winning 3-4 matches continuously. Centuries, okay. What is, let us say, Ronaldo known for? Goals, okay. What is, let us say, no, I'm just asking, what is Puneet known for? Charity, okay. What about, let us say Darshan? There is a particular identity, right? So which they have become expert in their own field. So that is your craft. That is a, a distinguished thing which separates you from a different aspirant. Okay, what about the skills? Skills is nothing but time management, how you are making your notes, how are you preparing yourself for the exam. These are the skills required. So if you see your prelims, time management is the most important part. 2 hours of your GS and 2 hours of, let us in KPS and the red hour paper, 2 papers, and for UPSC it will be GS and CSAT, 2 hours. In those particular time, how are you solving the particular exam? Someone will come, invigilator will come for the signature and all, it'll spoil the, what do you call, concentration they'll spoil. Again you have to come back, and 1 year ka hard work will be determined in 2 hours. So what is it? It's nothing but time management and pressure management. So prelims is about that. Avatin dinake, especially in the last 2-3 years, avatin dinake, the person remains calm. Who remains calm is going to succeed, not a knowledgeable person. I know many people, multiple attempts, 4 attempts, 5 attempts, 6 attempts, they have not cleared prelims. They are good with knowledge. They are good with, let us say, what to do for the exam. They have studied little bit of mains also. They have done answer writing also. But on the exam day, they screw it up badly. See, there are two types of candidates. One is, so I'm talking about serious candidates. If a person is studying for 3-4 hours, not studied on the syllabus, is not considered a serious candidate. Among serious candidates, there are two types of people. One who have studied everything, done whatever is required, but on the exam day they screw it up, so they don't clear the exam. Second category, they don't do 100% like the first person, but at least they do 70%, right? 70-80% ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ, but on the exam day they know to balance themselves. They know to keep this as sane. Those people clear the exam. Those people clear that exam. So if at all you are a particular person, you're feeling happy, okay, ನಾನು ಈ ಸರಿ ರಿವಿಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ಈ ಸರಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಅಂದರೆ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ಗಿಂತ 2 ದಿನ ಮುಂಚೆ ನಿದ್ದೆ ಬಂದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ ಅವತ್ತಿನ ದಿನ, if you screw up, 1 year whatever you does, no one is going to ask you. UPSC or KPSC will not come and ask how many books you studied, how many hours you did. No one is going to ask you. At the end of the day, you cleared the exam or not. That is the end. That is all it matters. So make sure these skills, one is your time management and stress management, it becomes a part of your routine. How do you make a part of your routine this stress management? When I tell that, what do you mean by that? You should have, you should be familiar. Let us say you didn't sleep for a day. ನೀವು ಅವತ್ತಿನ ದಿನ ಏನು ಇವತ್ತು ಮಲ್ಕೊಂಡಿಲ್ಲ, ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಡೇ ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಓದೋದು, ಒಂದು 4 hour ರೂಮಲ್ಲಿ ಮಲ್ಕೊಂಡು ಆಮೇಲೆ ಹೋಗೋಣ ಅಲ್ಲ. If you have not slept properly on that exam, on the previous day, attend the exam same at 9:30 to 11:30 only. And one more thing, attend your exams from 9:30 to 11:30 only, because there are timings for your exam as well, right? So make sure you are attending the same timing, and even if you are not slept, make sure you attend that particular exam, so that ನಿದ್ದೆ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ how your thing works, you should know. ಒಂದು ಇವಾಗಲೇ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ದಿವಸ ಅಷ್ಟು ಏನಂದ್ರೆ ಸರ್ಪ್ರೈಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಬರಲ್ಲ. ಅದರ್ವೈಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಡೇನೋ ಯು ಗೋನ್ ಟು ಪ್ಯಾನಿಕ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಎನಿಥಿಂಗ್. You're going to panic like anything, because you will not get any particular sleep. In my first prelims, so for mains and interview, I'll get aram se sleep, okay, but for prelims, I don't get sleep. This is a problem with 70% of the aspirants. Ivattin dinakku nimage gottilla, people who are going to give for the first time, maybe you'll get to know very soon. 70% of the aspirants suffer from this. They don't get sleep on the prelims day. If you're sleeping for 2-3 hours, you're lucky. Usually people do not get sleep. So avatin dinake, because this is a major factor, because see, at the end of the day, attention irbeka, you have to connect everything. That is all skills you need for prelim solving, right? Which I'm going to discuss in a while. So all those common sense you have to apply. If you have not slept well, how will you happen that particular thing? Yes or no? So now only you make sure that without sleep, how are you solving? Prepare yourself. Avatin dina aitu andre, you want to panic, exam correct agala, right? So if I talk about mains, what are the skills required in your mains? What do you think? Definitely answer writing, not just quality, even quantity is required. Yes or no? Then what else is there? For 9 exams will be there, 5 days continuously will be writing. So it takes, literally, I used to carry actually painkillers and all, the spray bottle and all, because when I'm writing, you get pain from your shoulder to your back. It's very painful. You have to prepare before for that. So physically it is training, mentally obviously, because you have to recollect whatever you have studied, that thing is there. Emotionally also sometimes it can be, very much training. And for, let us say, any particular health issue happens, even for boys or girls at that particular time. So avatin dinake, what do you call yourself? You might call yourself a little bit unlucky, but you cannot give that particular excuse. So you have to prepare all this particular thing beforehand for your mains exam. And in interview, trust me, in interview, 5 people will be there. You've seen 12th fail, right? Obviously it won't be like that grilling, provided which board it is there. It will be, usually cordial only. You've seen 12th fail, right? The interview scene. Ashtu grilling illa andre, but whatever you have prepared, if they don't ask from that particular field, that means you are a failed candidate then. They won't give you marks, right? So that also you have to prepare in hand. Suppose you don't know anything, how you are going to speak? So speaking, articulation, eye contact, your confidence, what is your body language, everything is going to be gauged on that particular day. So these are all nothing but your skills. Yes or no? 10% luck is there. You like it or not, in competitive exam, luck is an important factor. You cannot deny it. You cannot tell that 100% is my hard work, talent. No, we know it. We have experienced it. Luck is an important factor. 10% it will matter. Prelims dinner it will matter. Mains dinner it will matter. Your interview day it will going to matter. Prelims day, let us say, this person got in Siddhganga school here. Pagdal irodu, or degree college here, Vijaynagar degree college. Some person got in, let us say, some Chintamani or Dodballapur or Biddi. Who is lucky there? Yes or no? That is a luck factor only. You cannot control that particular factor. Obviously, 1.5 ಗಂಟೆ traveling ಹೋಗೋದಲ್ಲಿ stress ಬಂದೇ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. Yes or no? So that element is there. So that is not in our hand. This craft part with respect to prelims, what is required, that I will discuss in a while. Okay, this one thing you have to master. You have to master this particular thing because this is the majority chunk, 40% of the remaining 50% controllable. So 40% in the craft, so you have to master. That I'll discuss for what is required for your prelims part, right? So some of the do's I want to, I want to mention. First and foremost, how many of you are giving this attempt only? I hope that everyone is giving this attempt only, right? KPSC or UPSC. There's no one who's preparing in 2020 except you, right? So everyone else this year only. So for those people, preparing 2025, make sure time your your syllabus ತಲೆಯಲ್ಲಿ xerox copy ಕುತ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. Nothing will be asked beyond syllabus. Nothing will be asked beyond syllabus. So syllabus should be, make sure it's there as a, as a xerox copy in your thing. ಏನಾದರೂ ಒಂದು ಓದ್ತಿರ್ತೀರಾ ವಿತ್ ಸಿಲೆಬಸ್, ಯು ಆರ್ ರೀಡಿಂಗ್ ಸಮ್ ಆರ್ಟಿಕಲ್ ವಿಚ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಸಿಲೆಬಸ್, GS2 ಗವರ್ನೆನ್ಸ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಲೆಟ್ ಅಸ್ ಸೇ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದು ಬರ್ತಿರೋದು, ಈ ತರ ನಿಮಗೆ ಕ್ಲಾರಿಟಿ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಏನಾದರೂ ಒಂದು ಓದಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಯು ಶುಡ್ ನಾಟ್ GS2 ಏನೋ ಒಂದು ಪಾಲಿಟಿಕ್ಸ್ ಏನೋ ಬರ್ತಿದೆ, ಏನೋ NGOs ಬರ್ತಿದೆ, ನಮ್ಗೆ ಯಾಕೆ? ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ನಾಟ್. It will, everything will come in the syllabus only. So make sure for those people who are preparing 2025 or 2026, for those particular people, syllabus should be there. And for everyone, without this though, neither your interview nor your mains nor your interview can be cleared. PYQ is like the guide. Okay, PYQ though you need to solve, especially from 2013, because 2013 I hope you know that the paper pattern changed, the syllabus changed, everything changed. So since 2013 you have to solve. So what you can do is, for the next 40 days or odd days, the last 10 days is there, no? The last 10 days, make sure you're doing your PYQs. The last 10 days. CGS as well as CSET. In the same time is 9:30 to 11:30, 2:30 to 4:30. Make sure you're solving this particular thing, because see, all the institutes ka language is something else in terms of mock papers. UPSC ka language is something else. So you have to get accustomed to the language of the UPSC. So last 10 ವರ್ಷದಲ್ಲಿ if you're able to solve in the last 10 days, you don't solve any other institute or any test, you don't solve anything, just solve your PYQs. That is going to give you extra edge on the exam day. Okay, and obviously ಮುಂಚೆಯಿಂದ ಮಾಡಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ you'll get little better marks also, so added confidence to your exam. So make sure you are solving your PYQs. How will I remove only this part? Anyone knows? ಇದು ಒಂದು erase ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. This, okay, thank you. So next do's after your syllabus and PYQ is solving enough number of mocks. Enough number of mocks, especially for your prelims. See, some people, prelims solving is like, cycling or swimming. It's a knack. You understand a knack, right? Once you will not forget it. That's why some people, once they get the knack of prelims, they'll be continuously clearing the prelims. So you have to develop that particular knack. For some person, IQ is, if you have read this particular book called Sapiens, IQ is one important factor. Some of you can take only 20 tests, some of you can take 50 tests, some of you can take 100 tests. You don't know. You have to test it out. So the more number of mocks you are solving, the better you will be prepared for the examination. And sumne ratri 10 ಗಂಟೆ solve ಮಾಡೋದಲ್ಲ. The same timing is very much important. So solve as much as mocks as possible. Roughly how many 40 days is there? So the next 30 days you're going to solve one test per day. Yes, every Sunday what you can do is morning GS and evening CSAT you can do, or maybe Wednesday and Sunday, because CSAT is one, for few people it has become little difficult. So you can solve Wednesday and Sunday, your CSAT in the afternoon. Remaining days every day solve a GS test. It's very very important. It's very important. ನೀವು ಏನು ಓದ್ತೀರಾ, ಎಷ್ಟು ರಿವೈಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ, ಅದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ what is important is your mocks, because this will come into the category of your craft. This you have to develop by yourself. ಇದು ಯಾರು ಹೇಳೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಅಥವಾ ಎಲ್ಲೋ ಓದೋದ್ರಿಂದ you will not get it. You have to develop. Mastery. Virat Kohli didn't read a book particular, to let us say someone told centuries. He didn't read a book how to score centuries, right? Or Sachin didn't guide him, this is how you score a century. He didn't guide them right like that, right? So basically he mastered himself. So even you have to master your own strategy for your prelims by solving enough number of mocks. Very very important. This usually I have observed that especially people who are giving the first or second attempt, usually ಒಂದು 10-15 ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಸಾಕು ನಮಗೆ ಅಂತ ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ. No baba, you don't know, still the knack inna bandilla. You have to solve more number of tests. So make sure you not skip this element. Even if you have done 2 times Lakshmikant, it's fine, but don't miss this aspect. And it's not like one day you're solving 3 tests. One day dinake 3 tests madadalla. Consistent agi onande dina ಮಾಡಿ. It's like you're going to the gym, 6 hours of you working out your biceps. One day it's not going to come, right? It's going to come, consistent agi madidre matra baradu. So same thing applies here also. So make sure you're solving more number of mocks. And fourth, have you heard about this term called visualization? So these, apart from academics, I'm talking about, a few non-academics part. Visualization, have you heard about it? What is it? Most of the successful people, they do it. There's a book called, The Habits of Highly Successful People. In that book, it's also mentioned it. There's a book by Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. There it is mentioned. From Virat Kohli to your Ronaldo to your LeBron James to Kobe Bryant, even to Shah Rukh Khan, everyone does this particular part. Visualization. Have you heard about it, or anyone is practicing it? No? What is it? Anyone knows? You told you know, right? No. So visualization is basically before something happens, you're visualizing in your mind. For example, before prelim solving, I used to visualize every time that, closing my eyes for 2-3 minutes, all the 100 questions I'm marking, 4 rounds of, papers I'm doing, this is how I'm marking double, the double ka thing, right? Double irbekade, this is how I'm thinking. And after solving the particular paper, I'm doing CSAT. I'm checking my name in the particular, list. Prelims result list, my name is found. That I used to do for prelims. For mains, I used to visualize that I'm writing for 3 hours these many particular answers, and I'm completing the paper. I'm completing all the 9 papers, and finally in the mains list also I'm finding my name. Before the interview also, I was visualizing that for 30 minutes these people will be asking questions. I'll be sufficiently answering, and they'll be very happy with me. This is how you visualize basically. And before the results, you visualize that you're finding your name. This actually works because this motivates you to work harder. So visualization is one thing which you can inculcate as a habit. So this you cannot, don't do on the exam day. But you have to practice it daily when you're giving your mock test. It hardly takes 2 minutes, okay? So before you solve a mock test, visualize that, you have done all the, let us say 90, 95 questions, and you have got majority of them correct. Then solve the particular paper. You yourself will find that, subconsciously you will perform better. I'm sure with it. Your subconscious is going to, productivity increases. So visualization is one thing, in the non-academics part which you have to do, in my opinion. Okay, so next particular do's if I have to mention. So let us say your discipline. Especially now though is a high time that you build a self-discipline routine for your examination. You have to sleep at the same time, you have to get up at the same time. Prelims will be, roughly around 9 o'clock, you have to be in the room. So at least half an hour before, for safety you will be there. So 8:30 you have to reach. They don't have to worry. But what if you get 1.5 hours? So you have to keep in mind by 7:30 you are leaving your home no matter what. 7 o'clock breakfast at what time you have to have? 7 o'clock, before 7 o'clock only? Yes or no? Without breakfast you cannot do the exam. You need energy, right? So this you have to particularly prepare. At least 1 hour you will take yourself to get ready. Yes or no? You take bath, let us say you do 5 minutes of meditation, whatever you're going to do. You're going to do this particular part. So make sure, 5:30, 6 o'clock maximum you get up and, build the same routine every day. And if you are getting up at 5:30, 6 o'clock, roughly if you are sleeping for 7.5 hours, you have to sleep by 10:30. So make sure you are, maintaining this particular discipline, 10:30 to 5:30. If you are able to maintain it for the next 40 days, first 1 week kashta agate, but on the exam day it's going to really affect you. It will be really, really helpful to you. Someone else will be like, who gets up every day at 7:30, that person will be sleepy in the exam hall. He cannot have breakfast, but you people will be better prepared. So make sure you're keeping a fixed routine. This, if you, there is something called biology of success. If you go against the biology of success, you won't get the success. This is a part of biology of success. Maybe, in this session, if you can tell, I will tell, but I'll mention about this, what is this biology of success. The whole universe goes in this particular direction. You cannot challenge it. So biology of success though, you cannot break the chain. So these are all part of biology of success. Just remember, I'll tell you what it is, and maybe if we get time enough, we'll do it. Okay. So maintaining a discipline. Second, see, next 40 days is there, right? For the next 20 days, you go all in and all out. And I hope that majority of you are, are preparing completely for this exam. Only maybe 1 or 2 may be preparing for, doing your job also, then preparing. So roughly you have 40 days. For the next 20 days, make sure minimum 12 hours you are studying. Minimum you have to study. You have to go all in, all out here only. You cannot go all in, all out just before the exam. Don't do that. You have to do now only, right? For the next 10 days, maybe you can keep a maintain of 10 to 12 days. Last 10 days, make sure you're not studying more. Otherwise, saturation level, energy level, peak hoಗ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ exam is a peak level ಬರಲ್ಲ. So make sure you are studying less than 8 hours. And last 2 days of exam anyway you cannot study because your anxiety level will be very high. You cannot study. So watch a movie, you relax, you cry, you laugh, whatever that emotion is there, take it out. Because on the exam day, it cannot accumulate on the exam night. I'm telling because I have not slept for my prelims exam and I have cracked the code that even if you have not slept it, how to do the prelims, and suppose you get anxiety, how to manage yourself. On that particular experience, I'm telling you this, right? So last 2 days you cannot study, but don't study more than 8 hours in your last 10 days. Otherwise, it's going to be counterproductive. But the next 20 days is the most crucial, where you have to study at least 12 hours, right? So these three you just keep in mind. Other things maybe you can leave a space. If I remember any few things, I will just add on. Okay. So few of the keywords I want to mention for your prelims, where one is the knowledge part, then this common sense part, then comes your strategy, tricks, elimination, etc., etc., right? So few of the aspect in the third category I'll tell you. So maybe you can note down these keywords so that on the exam hall you can make a little intelligent guessing. It's not like your ABCD randomly you're choosing. It is some intelligent guessing which goes before solving the particular paper. So maybe I made a particular list of your these keywords. So maybe you can note down. So the first category I want to mention is your names pattern. So this will apply majorly for your history questions, history, especially ancient medieval, and your culture. And current affairs, especially if you're something is happening in the India or let us say world, adrinda enadru if they have asked, there it applies strictly for these 4 categories. So you can write down names pattern. Names pattern. So this might look funny, but it works. Okay, it looks funny, but it works. So those particular names where your Kannada, most of your Kannada or Telugu, right? So our particular tone is only in 3 states. One is obviously Karnataka, AP, and Telangana. So anything which is having a this particular Kannada sounding, it will be from this particular thing only. Kannada is Karnataka Akpadi. It can be an option of Telangana and AP as well. So these three will have the same, like Kannada, Telugu has a same similar sound, right? So it's the same thing. So you can write down Karnataka, AP, Telangana similar to Kannada. So any particular word comes, let us say Dwara Samudra. So Dwara Samudra is a particular place, right? It's a PYQ as well. So where it is? Dwara Samudra. If you solve PYQ, you will know this. Vijaynagar, okay. So basically it's in your Karnataka only, central Karnataka. So the name is changed now. Dwara Samudra was the ancient name, okay. So this can be even in AP also, Telangana also. There also called Dwara Samudra or Dwara Samudram. But it will be there only. It won't go beyond that, right? So if an option comes, a statement comes, match the following where Dwara Samudra is there. Apart from Karnataka, AP, Telangana, any other state, obviously it's a wrong statement. Okay, so you can mark it, it's a wrong particular statement. If a particular, let us say, Diyogad is there, where do you think the Diyogad is going to come? Northeast, okay. This so definitely will not come in South India, because Dio is a word which basically means Dev, right? So there, Dio is a tribal language word. So where it is come, tribal states? Northeast is is a different tribals. The mainland tribals are different. So majorly your Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh or Jharkhand, right? So this is the MP. Diyogad is in your MP only. So this is how you intelligent guess your names, right? I'll come to that particular part. Second, Kerala, Tamil Nadu and the southern Andhra Pradesh. So here, this particular sound is a major thing. So whichever names have this particular in the last is majorly from your Kerala or Tamil Nadu or South AP, right? Or Pondicherry as well. Next is Goa, Maharashtra and Lakshadweep. So here the majority of the language is Konkani. Okay, so Konkani sounding names will be from these states only. It won't go beyond that. Maharashtra, Lakshadweep and Goa. And you can add to, to some extent Daman and Diu as well, right? So next one is Konkani sound, that is. Next one is Gujarat and Rajasthan. So if you see the history part, no, so majorly here, who are the people living? So right now also Marwadis and Sindhis are living, right? So whenever any Ani, any name ends with Ani, it's a Sindhi name. It's a Sindhi name. Ambani, Adani, or some any particular name which ends with Ani. It's a Sindhi name. So strictly it will be from your Gujarat only. Okay, any Marwadi name comes or any Jain name comes, it will be from your Gujarat and Rajasthan. Because I think you know the ancient. If you have studied all ancient medieval history, you will understand all this particular, it makes sense, right? So next one you can write MP, Odisha, Chhattisgarh and Jharkhand. So this is your mainland tribals. Mainland tribals. MP, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, Odisha. Mainland tribal names. Then Odisha, West Bengal and Assam, all the names will be having a Bengali sound. Bengali sound. I hope you understand, right, how to do the intelligent guessing. Yenadu ಒಂದು word ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಬೇರೆ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ರೆ, if at all you can relate to these particular, it won't go beyond 2 or 3 states. If at all they have given, let us say, some Rajasthan for a Bengali name, obviously it's common sense that it will come in this particular area, not in that particular end, right? You understood, right, what I mean to say, how you have to identify this. Next one you can write whichever is the most difficult words, pronunciation agirbodu, the words agirbodu, it will be from Meghalaya. Most difficult. ಅದು ಮಾವಿನ ಸ್ವರಂ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಆರ್ ಎನಿ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಪಾರ್ಕ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ವೈಲ್ಡ್ ಲೈಫ್ ಸ್ಯಾಂಚುರಿ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಎನಿ ಫೆಸ್ಟಿವಲ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, it's very difficult to even pronounce. There's something called, I don't know how you pronounce this particular part. This is from Meghalaya. So whichever, obviously, 90%, when I tell 90%, it applies. Nothing is 100%, right? So whichever is the most difficult pronunciation or the word, it is from Meghalaya basically. Next one, among northeast states, Tripura and Assam. Tripura and Assam. Since these two are, majorly Hindu majority states, the names will have Hindu names. So suppose any particular question is there, it is a little bit of Hinduism name and the options are northeastern states. Avatin dineke Assam and your Tripura will be having the highest probability of getting correct. Did you understand? So next, Sikkim, Ladakh and Arunachal. Sikkim, Ladakh and Arunachal. Anyone can guess? Buddhist names. Because majorly your Tibetan Buddhism is followed in these three. Next, Nagaland. Whenever, Ami, Ni, your Naga, any particular word which ends with this will be a Nagaland, word. Okay. Similarly, Manipur, A, O, Ba, all this is your, your Metis language. Next one, you can write Nepali words, anything which has Thapa, Khapa, Chapa, basically which ends with Apa. So they're all, your Nepali and Tibetan names. Okay. Next, with respect to Himachal, Uttarakhand, UP and Bihar, in this particular, land area. So there usually it is soft Hindi. It won't be any harsh sounding name. So they're all soft Hindi. You can write that, soft Hindi. And Punjab, Haryana, obviously it will be a little bit of rough Hindi. Rough Hindi. So next I want to give you, a list of related ministries. So some of you, I think you have attended the session, maybe you can update it. That day only I think few ministries was mentioned. So maybe you can update it. The remaining people can note down these ministries. So any particular, on the question birthday, statement based agirbodu, ene ondirbodu, any particular ministry will be given. Usually the high chance is that the ministry name has been interchanged. You think as a, a paper setter. If any question is there in, let us say, any particular scheme, let us say PM Kusum. So what all information you can put? Who are the beneficiaries, which department it comes, or which ministry will take place, which particular land area, if at all it's a pilot project, yav area alli idaagtide, all India funding hengide. This is all the maximum thing you can take out, right? Nothing beyond this, right? So what are you going to change? Funding and all, is little difficult, and if at all they want to make a paper very difficult, then funding he will put. The easiest way is changing the ministry. So most of the time, ministry's name will be wrong and it will be interchanged. So any particular, question comes, let us say, PM Kusum has come. So yesru note takshana, and if you have read what it is, you should be able to tell it is related to something electricity or power. You cannot think it is related to some education ministry or health ministry, right? So if at all any ministry of women, obviously it's wrong. But if any power or electric ministry comes, then you have to think about it, right? Are you understanding how to use this particular ministries list? Have you people understood? Artha agilla? Artha aita? Artha agilla Satish? So basically any particular, let us say you name the scheme. You name the scheme. Huh? PM Kisan someone told. So PM Kisan alli enen madabodu huh? What all, if you are a exam setter, paper setter, enen yochane madabodu? You are giving to your friend this particular scheme. Questions kelbeku, enen questions keltiya? You ask about which government ministry is doing it. Ministry yav ಮಾಡ್ತಿದೆ, ಎಷ್ಟು money is going to come, right? Who are the beneficiaries? ಎಷ್ಟು land size ಇದೆ? Anything else beyond this? North East Himalayas ಅಲ್ಲಿ 90-10 funding, remaining 60-40 ಅಂತ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. Is there beyond anything you can ask? No, right? Which is the easiest for you? Ministries. So ನೀನು ಕೇಳಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ statement wise ಅಲ್ಲಿ, consider the following regarding PM Kisan. This particular scheme is implemented by dash ministry. So if a particular ministry is, let us say, Ministry of Power, power will be there? Pakka wrong anta gotta? You can eliminate that particular option. But if a scheme comes, let us say cooperatives related to agriculture, avatin dina you have to think. So some related ministries are there. Any particular scheme or any particular program, related ministries irte avaglu. So make sure you know these particular ministries. Beyond it, it won't go. So first one, obviously agriculture, cooperatives, food processing. Like try to write it in short forms. Agriculture, cooperatives, food processing, and Ministry of Panchayati Raj. So these are all related ministries. Ella rural alle madadu kelsa. Then second you can take Ministry of Chemicals, Ministry of Health, and Ministry of Ayush. So these three are similar ministries. Next one, Commerce, Finance, Corporate Affairs. Then communication. Can you guess? Apart from communication, what else it can be? Which all ministry can come? Let's see if you can guess. Ministry of Communication. Then Electronics, Ministry of Electronics. Then obviously or one more. Ministry of Information and Broadcasting as well you can add. One more department is also there. No. Telecom Ministry. Okay, Telecom. Then next one, Culture, Tourism and Minority Ministry. Any particular scheme, ee moorale enadru baradu. If let us say, I'm not getting the exact name. Yeah, Apna Dharohar. It's a particular program, right? Apna Dharohar. Have you heard about it? So this will be among this particular only. Ee moor ministry le baradu. It won't go to women ministry, It won't go to your, child affairs ministry or education ministry. Within your tourism or culture, minority only will come, right? So make sure you are doing intelligent guessing, okay? Next one you can write. This is one, where you can actually get confused. So you can write Ministry of Earth Science, Environment, Science and Tech, Ministry of Mines. If anything is related to mining, even Tribal Affairs Ministry will come. And to some extent, you can also, ISRO also. They also do this Bhuvan portal, all the geo portal they also do. So ISRO as well. Next one, Jal Shakti Ministry. I hope you know that 3 ministries has been merged into Jal Shakti Ministry now. Ministry of Shipping and Ministry of Environment. Then Ministry of Women, Health and Social Justice. Whenever any good thing to society, when it comes to women agirbodu, vulnerable sections agirbodu, minority agirbodu, tribals agirbodu, most of the time it will be these ministries only. Women, social justice, you can also add tribal affairs ministry as well, okay? Then next, Home, Defense and External Affairs. Home, Defense and External Affairs. Just make sure you are very familiar with these particular ministries, because a lot is happening in the last 1.5 years. We had G20, we had this Resina dialogue. So make sure you know which ministry or department is doing what. These are probable questions. Next one, Education, Skill Development, Science and Tech and Niti Aayog. Then with respect to Rural Development Ministry, Ministry of Panchayati Raj. Housing will also come, Ministry of Housing. Then with respect to labor force, so Ministry of Labor, MSMEs, Commerce, Textiles, Heavy Industries. These are all one category. And the last one you can write Renewable Energy, Power, Electricity. All this will come under Ministry of Coal, that also will come. All will come under one category. So you write down few tips for your prelims. You just write down, when it is necessary, I will just explain, I'll elaborate that particular point as well. See here, one thing you have to remember, not every time knacks and tricks is going to work. That is like the, the last resort. First thing obviously is your knowledge. Knowledge kinta, if you are 100% sure that you have read this somewhere and this is 100% correct, but according to the tricks it is not working out. Tricks prakara ee answer alla, but ನೀವು ಓದಿದಿರಾ ಇದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ, ಪಾಲಿಟಿಲಿ ಓದಿದಿರಾ ಅಥವಾ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಅಫೇರ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಓದಿದಿರಾ, then trust your knowledge first, right? Second is your common sense. Third comes your tricks and knacks for your prelims. ಒಂದ್ಸರಿ ಇದು 10-15 ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಸ್ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗೋಯ್ತು, ಎಲ್ಲದಕ್ಕೂ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ಸ್ಗೂ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಹೋಗಬೇಡಿ. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಟ್ರಸ್ಟ್ ಯುವರ್ ನಾಲೆಜ್, ವಾಟ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಬೀನ್ ಸ್ಟಡಿಂಗ್ ಫಾರ್ ಮಂತ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಇಯರ್ಸ್. ಟ್ರಸ್ಟ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್, ರೈಟ್? So knowledge, common sense and tricks. This is how you have to identify your questions. ಎಲ್ಲದಕ್ಕೂ knacks ಹಾಕಕ್ ಹೋಗಬೇಡಿ. Sometimes it will be counterproductive. This will be only when especially in your 2 doubts wala, 3 doubts wala. I think some of you are aware of that particular thing, right? 2 doubts, 3 doubts, or when you don't have any idea, you have to do guess. You attend only 60 questions. 60 questions attend ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಪಕ್ಕ you won't clear. ಪಕ್ಕ you won't clear. It is gone are the days before 2017-18 where people used to attend only 65 questions, out of which 60 was correct. ಇವತ್ತಿನ ದಿನಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗಲ್ಲ ಅದಲ್ಲ, randomness is more. I think you are aware. Only 2 pairs are correct, only 3 pairs are correct. Most of you are solving the mocks. You are stuck in that particular questions only. You are, losing marks there only, right? So, intadakalla adaga common sense and tricks will work out. So, make sure you have to attempt a few basic things. Yeah, you can just mention in your do's for your prelims, wherever you have written. Make sure you are attending, 85 questions you have to attend. Avatin dinak, obviously you decide whether to attend 90 or 80, but on an average, 85. If you're too confident about yourself, about your knowledge, then you go for 100. If you have to ask me how many questions I have attended in my, so this was my 5th attempt. So in the last 5 prelims, how many questions I have attempted? In my first prelims, I attended 90 questions. Second prelims, this I didn't clear. Second prelims, I attended 96 questions. I got 124 in GS, right? That particular time I had cleared prelims. Next particular one, I added 100 questions. I didn't get cleared. I attended all the 100 questions because each easy, let us attend. Because of that, this particular attempt, my marks was, 0.8 marks less than the cutoff. 0.8 marks. One question, sumne bitputididru negative bartillilla. I was clearing that particular thing. In my 4th attempt, this time to, properly I have prepared again. So, attended again 100 questions. Because, once beyond a point, you feel that each questions easy, idale in kashta ide, let's attend. Especially, 10 ನಿಮಿಷ ಇರ್ತಲ್ಲ ಕೊನೆ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲ 145 minutes ಬರ್ದಿದ್ದೀರಾ, you attended above 90 questions, then you have 15 minutes now. Then you feel attend ಮಾಡೋಣ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಏನಾಗಲ್ಲ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ ಅಂತ, you get that particular confidence. So here also attended 100 questions. Here I had got 128 my GS score, but your CSAT, that I lost by 0.4 marks. Okay, in that particular CSAT also I had got I think 66.2, 66.6 is your cutoff, right? So that I have got. Avatin dinake, okay, this point I'll tell you how destiny or luck, whatever, how it will play. I'll come back to this, but I'm just telling you the attempts part. Then in this particular attempted, I think attended 99 questions. So I don't know what is the score this particular. Maybe Monday is your forest result. So forest result admele your prelims ka marks also will come. So but obviously I would have cleared prelim. That's why here. So 99 questions I have attempted. This you decide. You people decide. The prelims particular part, I feel like all questions are you can attend anta, but you don't have this particular mindset because for one time it has backfired for me. Backfired. Avatin dinake attend madilla one question kammi attend madididru I would have clearing that particular prelims. So you don't do that. And in the last 2 years, so how the prelims has been coming. Very randomized, pair-based questions, all this particular coming mandaga, it's better to be little bit careful. Maybe that's why I'm telling you 85 questions is the average. On that day you decide. If the paper is little bit easy, or if you feel that okay fine I can take a risk, means you attend 90. If you feel let us not take risk, ಎಲ್ಲಾರ ಮುಖನೂ ಪೇಪರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ಲಾರ ಮುಖ ನೋಡ್ತಿರಲ್ಲ, ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಇರ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ, ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ರೆ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಪೇಪರ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಡಿಫಿಕಲ್ಟ್. So avatin dinike maybe you can attend 80. See, cutoff is 75. So roughly how many you have to get correct? How many you have to get correct? 50 correct, 30 wrong. How much will be your marks? 80. Right? So 50 correct, 30 wrong. It will work out. 80 questions ಮಾಡಿ 50 correct ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, 30 wrong ಆಗಲಿ. You are attending 90, 60 correct, 30 wrong. Beyond less than 30 ಹೋಯ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ it will be problematic, right? So make sure it's not less than 30 at least. Okay, 30 wrong at least. So 80 to 85 though is a very good score to attempt the particular questions. So basically tricks I was giving you, right? Yeah. So you can write down these particular tricks one by one. See, again, when I tell these tricks, 100% correct anta alla. Probability is high that these tricks will work. It is not foolproof. 8 out of 10 times, 7 out of 10 times it will work. Not 10 out of 10 times. Remember it, right? ಯಾಕೆಂದ್ರೆ ಐ ನೋ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ನೋ ಎಲ್ಲಾನು ಆಗಿ ಸರ್ ನಿಮ್ಮಿಂದನೇ ಸರ್, ನಾನು 100ಕ್ಕೆ 100 ಅಟೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಸ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ ಸರ್, 50 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಸಿಕ್ತು ಸರ್, ನಿಮ್ಮಿಂದನೇ ಸರ್ ಅಂತ. ಯು ಶುಡ್ ನಾಟ್ ಬ್ಲೇಮ್ ಮಿ ದೆನ್, ದಟ್ಸ್ ವೈ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಟೆಲ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಯು ನೌ. ಸೊ ರೈಟ್ ಡೌನ್ ಡೇಟಾ, ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ಸ್. ಡೇಟಾ /stats/facts. You understand this, what I mean? Data ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಗೊತ್ತು ತಾನೆ? You know, right? Facts, data and all. India is ranked this particular number, particular index, so India's ranking was this. Let us say, this particular scheme was launched in this particular year. These are all numbers. These are all figures. Let us say some history question is there. Yavado on year ide. Let us say your, IR question alli, Indus water treaty is there. one particular year what they did 1960 it has been signed, but what they did 1950 ತೋರಿಸಿದ್ರು. It's a wrong question. Numbers will be different, so most of the time it will be wrong. You can just write down generally wrong or incorrect as they are easy to manipulate. But remember, statement wisely, if at all, you remember statement wise, 3 statements, 4 statements, beyond 2 statements allo numbers ide andre you have to become careful, because this trick will not work. It may or may not work, 50-50 chance ide. If at all more than 2 options, it is showing like that. I hope you are understanding the basic things. Obviously, if you are not studied anything for your exam, yavattu mock kottilla nimge ಏನು ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಲ್ಲ, but for the remaining people I am telling. So fine, right? ನೀವೇನ್ರಿ ಹ್ಞೂ ಅಂತಿದ್ದೀರಾ? ಯು ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟೆಡ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ 1 month ಬಿಫೋರ್. ಪೇಪರ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಾ? ಬಟ್ ರಿಮೆಂಬರ್ ಒನ್ ಥಿಂಗ್, ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಸೀನ್ ದಟ್ ಈ ನಂಬರ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಬೇರೆ ಕ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೆ ಈ ಥರ, ದಟ್ ನಂಬರ್ಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ರಾಂಗ್ ಅಂತ. ಸಮ್ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಆಕ್ಟ್ ಕೇಮ್, ಫಾರೆಸ್ಟ್ ರೈಟ್ಸ್ ಆಕ್ಟ್ 2006, ಸರ್ ಫಾರೆಸ್ಟ್ ರೈಟ್ಸ್ ಆಕ್ಟ್ 2006 ನಂಬರ್ ಇದೆ ಸರ್, ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ರಾಂಗ್ ಅಂತ, ಅದು ರಾಂಗ್ ಆಗಿದ್ರು. ಅರೆ ಕಾಮನ್ ಸೆನ್ಸ್ ಯಾರ್, acts ka number or year won't change, it will never be wrong, because purti act hesre year jote barte. Forest Rights Act 2006 only, Wildlife Protection Act 1972 only, they will not change that year. But if the question comes Wildlife Protection Act was implemented in this year, then it's a wrong thing. But it comes with the act, then it is not wrong, 100% is not wrong. So don't get confused with respect to this part, okay? Just like basic things. So second, obviously the extreme statements, whenever steadily increase, steadily decrease, these particular trends, especially in your economy questions, generally increasing, generally decreasing, you've seen, right? So those are most of the time it will be wrong. But remember, if it is for, let us say, GDP or population or GNP, avatin dinike it can be there. For example, NNP at factor cost had been steadily increasing in the last 10 years. That's a correct statement. So if at all is there for these particular terms, GDP, NNP, NDP, antadike you think twice. But if a particular, let us say, poverty has been okay, that has to steadily decreased only. Tell any other economic term. Water, groundwater level is there, that has steadily decreased. Is it correct? Not in all the states. Some states like Meghalaya, where it's a riverine or where proper rainfall comes, there it won't happen. Yes or no? So be little careful what to choose, what not to choose, right? So next one you can write extreme words. Extreme words you understand, right? All, nobody, everyone, everything, anywhere. Every, wherever, completely, absolutely, these are all like the extreme words. So most of the time it will be wrong. There was a particular question in 2017, I think, where all the 3 statements they have given, like all the eggs are viviparous, all the things are this. You remember that particular question? ಅದು ಯಾಕೆ ಬಂದಿತ್ತು ಅಂದರೆ ಅವತ್ತಿನ ವರ್ಷಕ್ಕೆ there was a particular exception in Amazon forest where usually right, snakes give birth to your, they give eggs basically, they don't give birth to young ones. Yes or no? So avatin dinake one anaconda had actually given birth to a young one. There was no egg. So avatin dina, for that particular prelims, they had asked that question. So everyone thought obviously snake will give egg, what else it will give anta, but that was wrong. So make sure if your current affairs strong ittu andre you know it. ಮೂರು statements hangittu. So ಮೂರು bandre it is like a thing to be cautious about, right? So next one, see, whenever you are giving what? UPSC, Union Public Service Commission, KPSC, right? So what are these? Government exams. Will government exams ಅಲ್ಲಿ government na criticize ಮಾಡ್ತಾರಾ, or any negative tone will be there? So obviously BBC will tell, some Western media will tell, but in the papers it will never be, some, let us say, India alli bari poverty ide, India is this particular ranking in this, let us say, pollution ಏನು ಇಂಪ್ರೂವ್ ಆಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಬರಲ್ಲ. ಅದೇನಾದ್ರೂ ಬಂದಿದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಅ ರಾಂಗ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್. ಯೂಶಲಿ ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ನಾಟ್ ಆಸ್ಕ್, even if they are asking, it will be a wrong statement. So no critique of let us say India. It's like a obviously common sense, right? Journalist people will do but not UPSC at least. Next one, If let us say 3 statements are there, 2 statements there will be high chance that have interchanged. ಏನೋ ಒಂದು ವರ್ಡ್ ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಏನೋ ಒಂದು ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ವರ್ಡ್ ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಏನೋ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. Most of the time it will be interchange between them. So remember that particular part, okay? And whenever you find a positive or a generalistic or let us say visionary, futuristic statement, no, India is set to grow as a second largest economy by 2030. Most of the time they are correct. Visionary, futuristic. Are you understanding? So next one. So anything which is told, any good thing about, let us say, government policy, program, act, anything good, positive about it, usually it will be correct, except British acts. Why will we tell good? What have they done? Good, except railways and UPSC. Obviously, they would have done. I'm just telling you in a broad way. So, government acts, policies, historical events, post-independence, most of the time, if at all it is given in positive tone, it will be correct only. Next one. See, there are few favorite topics of UPSC. Every year, it is observed. Every alternate year, one question will be there. So, Gandhi, tribals, you can note down this. Gandhi, tribals, NGOs, WTO, UN, Western Ghats, your Ajanta Ellora caves, Buddhism, Jainism, Ashoka, anything related to forest, national parks, wildlife sanctuary. One of you just remind me, okay, I'll just give you what all, you just remind me tables towards somewhere in the middle. I want you to just prepare all those before exam. That is like the game changer. Just remind me, I'll tell you what it is, okay? Because if I forget, it will be, I feel like I'll be missing out something. So yeah, preamble, in the same list, preamble, DPSP, fundamental rights, please write in shortcuts, short forms. President, governor, your basic that GDP, GNP, NDP, all those thing is there, no? That whole set, that thing. Mapping questions. Every alternate year it will be there. Mapping though it will be there every year. I think you know Indian places are difficult, world places are easy. So atlas though you should know by heart. Like not by heart, it's not possible. But at least if you're able to read 15 to 20 times your atlas, then in those 8-10 questions you have a edge. Other than that particular person who has not read it. Atlas right? Black Swan is a one good atlas you can take. For those people who have not bought Black Swan atlas, you can take. Obviously, they have not given me money for marketing, but so just remember statements number wise, okay? So whenever 5 statements are given, usually 3 or 1 will be correct. Even number won't be there. It is observed in the past, PYQs. ಇವತ್ತಿನ ವರ್ಷಕ್ಕೆ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ನಾನೇನು ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ, ಬಟ್ ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ಇಸ್ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ಟಿಲ್ ನೌ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಟೆಲ್ಲಿಂಗ್ 3 or 1 will be correct. Out of 6 statements, usually 4 will be correct. And out of 7 statements, 5 or all the statements will be correct. And remember, when anywhere these positive words, you can write down those positive words. ಯಾವಾಗಾದ್ರೂ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇತ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ most of the time it will be correct. Innovation, inclusion, social justice, decentralization, democracy, empowerment, participation, bottom up approach, You are understanding, no? These kind of words. Yavag idirte, most of the time they are correct because they are all positive. For science and tech questions, anything which has the future scope, futuristic or visionary statements, most of the time they are correct. 9 out of 10 times actually. AI can change this particular thing, you know. And whenever probable questions, next one you can write probable questions. Can, may, might, could, lead to. These are all probable statements, and most of the time, 8 out of 10 times, it will be correct. So, ministry, department, body, organization, usually this will be interchanged. You can write down that as well. Ministry, body, department, organization, institution, etc. will be interchanged. And I hope you know to differentiate between a government body and a NGO. Do you know? Can you tell me? Yeah, but how do you differentiate? Few things are there. Whenever authority, council, now that it started coming, authority, council, ಇದು ಯಾವಾಗ ಬರುತ್ತೆ? It's all government bodies. Okay. Whenever any, let us say, international is there in the suffix, you know, BirdLife International, let us say your what else international is there? Walk International, Slavery International, these are all what? NGOs. So know the particular difference. Authority, council anta bandre, it's a government body, strictly. Authority, council, committee, all this is what? Government bodies. Whenever it is a union, any particular bodily union birth, it's a NGO, International Union of Conservation of Nature, IUCN. Just be careful, and whenever a particular institution name is given, no, first question will be it's a non-governmental organization or a governmental organization. So ಅದು ಒಂದು ಬಂದ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. So make sure, you know, is it required? Huh? Just call you only. Excuse me, sir. Mic off ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ? I think it's causing disturbance. Huh? Okay. So what was I telling? Yeah, so NGOs just know that particular difference, okay? They themselves will tell it's a government body or a non-governmental body. Avatin dina yavad barte, make sure, you know, you get that particular thing, okay, it might be a wrong statement anta. So remember, authorities, any particular authority, it is always headed by a authority. It's a statutory body. It's a statutory body. I hope everyone knows what is the statutory, non-statutory, constitutional body and all. Everyone knows, right? Council is always headed by a minister. Council is always headed by a minister. Committee is always headed by a who? Who? A bureaucrat, a secretary basically. So they'll usually ask, let us say, tell any particular authority or council. NTCA is there. So who is the particular chairman for that? Minister, because statutory body is there. Give me example of, let us say, council. Yeah, so GST council, in the meetings, who headed person is obviously the finance minister, but actually the head is, who is that? Is the secretary, obviously, revenue secretary, right? Then what about committees? Committees, you know, most of the time they are bureaucrats or Supreme Court, ex Supreme Court judges, retired. So if you want, I can actually give you CSAT ka keywords. Do you want it? CSAT keywords. So you can write down maybe. ಇದು ಓದ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ because CSAT now it itself is a class itself, right? It will take 2-3 hours. See, remember comprehension part. I'm talking about comprehension. 28 to 30 questions will come. There are only 6 types of comprehension. 6 type of comprehensions only. Beyond that, it is not there. You just have to identify which type of comprehension is this, and directly get the answer. Most of the time, even if you don't read the the comprehension, suppose you don't have time, 10 minutes ಇದೆ 15 comprehension ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, how will you answer? Obviously you will know you cannot read the comprehension. So most of the time you have to take that risk of just reading the options. So if you are aware of this 6 type of comprehension, just by looking at the options only, you can answer that particular question. So some other day maybe we we'll discuss the different types of comprehension. We'll have a separate class only for your comprehension, where we'll discuss all the 6 types, and we'll discuss that. Okay, so just remember the keywords for these comprehensions. And yeah, see, now right, CSAT, how from the past 2-3 years, how it is coming. Yes or no? So I think you have to choose a particular strategy for your CSAT. So 28 roughly will be your what? I think not 35. 30 will be your aptitude, and remaining roughly I think 25 to 30 will be your reasoning. So English is one thing. From 2013, the difficulty level is not increased. They have increased aptitude, they have increased reasoning, but they have not increased English, right? So 2013, since it was introduced that time, English has remained the easiest part. So I will tell you personally, if at all you get the hack of your comprehension, illi maximum you get the marks 25-26 questions. Make sure you're getting in English only. So if you get 25-26, another 10 you have to get correct. If you're getting 35 correct, you are in the list. You're clearing CSAT. Yes or no? So in those particular 10, see, aptitude is one thing which has become very tough. JEE in the tagdirbodu, CAT in the tagdirbodu, they are directly getting the questions. We can also prepare, provided we have enough time, 6-8 months. But in a limited time where we have to prepare GS also, it's practically not possible to prepare in that way. So reasoning is one thing which you can again target. So always finish off your English in, let us say, 40 minutes. 40-45 minutes will be sufficient to do English, 28 questions. Then in the remaining time, let us say 40 or to 50 minutes, you attend your reasoning. How will you attend? I mean, you have to quickly know question, note where you know to do it or don't know to do it. So don't spend more than 10 seconds beyond reading it. If some 5 sentence question is there, ಗೊತ್ತು ನಿಮಗೆ ಅದು ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ, ಪ್ರಾಬಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ, ಬಟ್ ನೋಡ್ಬೇಕು ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆಯಿಂದ ಕೆಳಗಡೆ ಓದಬೇಕು, ನೋಡೋಣ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಈಸಿ ಸಿಕ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಅಂತ. ಡೋಂಟ್ ಡೂ ಆಲ್ ದಿಸ್ ಜುಮ್ಲಾಸ್ ಓವರ್ ದಟ್. ಟೈಮ್ ಇಲ್ಲ. CSAT is always the paper where people do not attend more. I think you are aware, right? Most of you right now, if you are solving your mocks also or PYQs also, beyond 55 questions you are not able to attend, majority of you. Yes or no? So 55 ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ರಿ ಸರ್, 35-40 ಇದ್ದೀವಿ, ಏನು ರಕ್ಷಿತ್? So if at all is there in that particular way, so make sure you are not giving beyond 40 minutes for your English. Then reasoning you do, and the remaining part you do aptitude. Just quickly within 10-15 seconds you read the question. Gottilva, skip it, don't even think about it. Move to the next question. It's a different story that you don't know any particular question in reasoning and aptitude, but at least you will be able to know 10 to 15. If you are able to get 10 out of 15, 10 correct here, and out of 28-25 correct here, you will be in the list. Okay, so make sure you know it. Why am I telling only 6 type of comprehension is there means, because in my, as I was mentioning, that particular 4th attempt 128 I had got GS, and in the CSAT part, so out of that particular also 28 was there. So out of these particular 28, 9 was correct and 9 was wrong. Okay, 9 was correct, 9 was wrong. I have a habit of attending again the CSAT also more. So in that particular year, GS somehow I attended, but because I didn't have the last night's sleep, ಬೆಳಗ್ಗೆ energy was there, but towards the afternoon it start dipping. So in that particular thing I wanted to attend more and more, because I have a thing that if you are attending more, in my previous attempts I'm easily clearing it, above getting 90 above, but now I'm just touching 50. So somehow I had to attend 60 questions. So last ಆ ವರ್ಷ ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದೆ, English I was attending in the last. So what happened, out of 28, 9 was correct, 9 was wrong. This was fixed, like all the institute in the answer key and all, this was fixed. Remaining 10 questions was there, 10 comprehension, which every institute have a different opinion, different answer. So this was disputed. I had to just get one correct out of these 10 comprehension to be in the list. that particular year you see the luck or anything, all the 10 comprehension went for a gutter, and that particular year 66.2 I got. One the comprehension attend ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ I was in the list. So are you understanding? So one point beyond ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ risk na ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ತೊಗೊಳಕ್ ಹೋಗಬೇಡಿ, right? So but after this somehow I had to figure it out English, somehow I have to get marks. That's when I figured out, okay fine, PYQ analysis ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ 10 question ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ there are only 6 types. If you know these particular 6 types and get it, and this particular time I think 26th or 27th pakka English is correct. I have attended only 50 questions, pakka correct, I'm sure of it. So obviously this year I cleared CSET with this particular English as my major strength, right? So maybe you can also follow the same strategy. So what I was telling for the keywords, right? So you can write down. So this English comprehension where implies and implication is there. Imply. What does the following author imply? Implication. So what is the meaning of that? You can write down. English meaning I'm telling, dictionary meaning. State of being implied, which means this you can write close connection or significance. Close connection or significance. This is the dictionary meaning of implication. Close connection or significance. So here key message is asked. Key message of the comprehension is asked. So based on the information given, identify key connection between argument of the passage and the options given to you. Whenever implication comes, you have to see. You don't have to go beyond the passage. Sincerely, logically, whatever is there is within the comprehension only. Some people ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಏನೋ ನೋಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಏನೋ ಒಂದು ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಅರೆ ವಾಟ್ ಆರ್ ಯು ಟೆಲಿಂಗ್, ಇಟ್ಸ್ illogical ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಯು ಡೂ ಬೈ ಯೋರ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್. ಈ ತರ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬಿಯಾಂಡ್ ಕಾಂಪ್ರಿಹೆನ್ಷನ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್. If in that comprehension they are telling boy is a girl and girl is a boy, it's boy is a girl only. Nothing will change. Don't use your logic. Comprehension ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇನೆ in this type of keyword, right? Don't go beyond that. There are few things like assumptions which I'll come to. So next one you can write message of the passage or message of the comprehension. Look at the core argument or theme or the theme which is being communicated. Sometimes try to grasp the tone of the passage, ಈ ತರ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಯೂಶಲಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ 5 or 6 issues will be there, but one issue is a major thing always, right? One is a major issue, but 5-6 things they'll be asking. So in the option also they'll ask it's related to water pollution, this is related to let us say deforestation, but the whole passage with respect to trees cutting only, but pollution one kade irutte, rain one kade irutte. So you should message, you should not deviate from that. Messages about afforestation or deforestation. So make sure in these type of questions that you identify. If you're able to identify, that particular comprehension is correct. Next one, crux of the passage. You have to identify the statement or the option that correctly summarizes the key idea or the key problem. Next one, assumption. So this is the only keyword where you can go beyond the comprehension, where you can use your logic, you can use sense, whatever it is. This is the only keyword. In mikkidella within the passage only. So you have to identify statements which can be assumed to be true. Sometimes, based on that premise, you can go beyond the passage as well. Last one, inference. Inference. A conclusion or opinion which is formed because of known factors. Because of known factors. So until unless something is there in the comprehension which suits the option, you cannot get that particular inference. So make sure any particular option is the, if at all in that particular passage facts are there to suit it, then you can take it. But if at all 2 or 3 are there statements like that where the same thing is there, whichever is the majority, that you can take, right? So that is with respect to the keywords. So before I open up the session for open question answer, I just want to tell you a slight 5-6 minutes about my last 5-6 years ka experience and their learnings. So okay, so as I was telling, I think I've told you 5 attempts is there. This was the 5th attempt, right? So on 21st June, this particular that particular year's ka prelims result had come, and I got to know that I'm not in the list. So that particular year, I think the next day or something, I read a particular book called The Strangest Secret of Success. It was by Earl Nightingale. But all, it's a very wonderful book you can actually read, where he mentions, it starts with a particular story where that particular person has actually lost his job because he's got a lot of loss. Because of this, a lot of financial debts have happened. He debts in the entinu ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹೋಗಿದ್ದಾಳೆ, ಹೆಂಡತಿ ಜೊತೆ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಹೋಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ. He has lost his house, he has lost his particular relation, he is left with no job, no money, and sitting in New York in that particular winter night when the snowfall and all is happening, and sitting on the bench and thinking. That particular day, he actually became successful in life. It is the story of Earl Nightingale only. So he became successful. Now you might ask, what are you telling, sir? How can you become successful in his life? Nothing is working out. Nothing is working out, Anta. And when I read that particular, that 2 pages in the introduction, it was kind of, I can reflect with my journey as well. I had given, I studied for 5 years. I had given 4 attempts. Whatever was required, first time I actually had written mains, but I didn't clear the mains, by 25 marks in my second attempt. So 4 attempts I had given. In my third attempt, though, I lost by 0.8 marks. In my fourth attempt, GS 128 bandu, CSAT I lost by 0.4 marks. Now what do you tell? You are unprepared. You are not at all prepared for this particular exam. What are you going to call for this? Right? So I've given it 5 years. I've given. At that particular stage, I was in this mindset that, I think I've told many of the time in the class as well that the best way to succeed in plan A is to kill all your plan Bs. I think I've told you this thing, right? So if you don't have a cushion, you have to go up only, you cannot go down, right? So I was in that particular mindset and had not written any particular exams also. I had not given any state exams, had not given any particular, other bank exams. All this was there, and slightly, in my own personal life, little bit of, some financial crunches also happened. So given being unemployed, given everything for this exam, not given any other exam, and at the same time, my own close friends, they are like, done with UPSC, let's go to, some state exams, Bariyana, AE Bariyana, bank exam Bariyana, railways, going into IT sector. They're all, switching their careers paths, and they're already getting the jobs. And social media ali madve ಆಗ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಮಾಡ್ಕೋತಿದ್ದಾರೆ, this thing is also extra added pressure, right? And what will you tell it to your parents or family? Yes or no? What you can see that particular thing. Obviously, when you're unemployed for 4-5 years, when people are there, you can actually understand how things will be. You'll be, you're having a major FOMO. And when I read this, that particular day he succeeded, and I was at the same state. And I honestly tell, that particular day, 21st June 2022, This was the same day I succeeded. Because in that particular book, the next page tells, you'll be completely frustrated, you'll be feeling down, you'll be, angry, you'll be thinking that everything is happening to you in the life, nothing is working out for you. Ellano tale irte. The day you remove this particular focus to thinking that, okay, fine, things will happen good to you, you're actually working out. Whatever is, life is going to bring into you, face the challenges. You're becoming stronger and stronger with all the disappointments, with all the failures. The day you shift your focus to this is the day your actually things start changing. And that particular day, I kept, I promised myself, the next attempt when I'm giving, I will not tell that because of this. I'm telling, fourth attempt till the 0.4 marks in the CSAT, third attempt till 0.8 in the GSO. This I'm telling you today. But I told to myself that whatever it is, it may be, family, friends, guide, academics part, luck, universe, I'm not going to blame anything. Whenever I will feel that idu madidre, I will succeed, small or big, I'm going to do it. I am going to do it. I promise myself. And whatever it took, whatever it was required for the exam purpose or for, stabilizing myself, I started taking up. So then I started doing the, I joined I was working as a teacher and a mentor only. I was guiding students as well as this. Little bit, became financially stable. After that, 2 months I took a break and gave the particular prelims with the same intensity. 5 times, so if I'm reading Lakshmikant, I'll read that, Lakshmikant in 5 times only in those particular 2 months. My strategy was clear. 4 to 5 times I have to do the static part, 6 to 7 times I have to do your current affairs part. See, we have studied for 4-5 years, so it's easy. We know exactly pinpoint Lakshmikant, which is the most important part, history, which is the most important part. But you people, obviously, Lakshmikant, how will you do 5 times revision in 2 months? So understand the situation. We have been studying for 4-5 years, so we know we have that particular advantage or something. So what I was telling? What was it telling? Yeah, so in those particular 2 months I prepared for this. Then the mains time came. Didn't think about anything. If I have to write these many tests, if I have to write 17 essays, I will write this particular test. If I feel that I need this particular test series, I will take. Not regretting later in life. Idu madididre adeno siktittu. I came up this particular mindset, and I believe that our mindset ididike, on the date of 17th April 2024, I succeeded. It might, to have taken 2 years, but that mindset shift was very much important. Before that I was blaming this particular reason, that particular reason. Idrinda, yaro library, someone was, garage ide, garage alli sound ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ 2 hour ಓದಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. Someone, current ಉಂಟು ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ, generator ಹಾಕ್ಸಿಲ್ಲ library ಅವನು. You can blame everything. If you're, you're having family or anything over there, you can tell that these people are not letting us study. If you're in a relationship, ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಜಗಳ ಮಾಡ್ತಾಳೆ ಇವಳು, ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಜಗಳ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ ಇವನು, ಅದರಿಂದ ಓದಕ್ಕಾಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. You can give any reasons. But the day you stop taking the reasons and accepting all the responsibility for your failure or disappointments, that is the day the shift happens. The day you do it, automatically things will start working out for you. Automatically. Believe me in this. It will start automatically working out. So that day, is the day when, it will be the worst day of your life, at least at your age and at your level. But that is the day, if you get the mindset shift correct, it will be things. Otherwise, even I would have done, okay, fine, nothing is working out, hange hinge anta. I gave these SSC, CGL, agirbodu, IBPS, agirbodu, ESAC, just to prove a point to myself that, I'm not a failure at any particular exams. UPSC, because of some or the other reasons, I'm not, clearing this particular thing. But remaining thing and all, I'm clearing. And that too what, I'm not prepared for all those. Maximum 1 week mock test kortini, clearing this particular SSC, CGL, right? That is also equally competitive. It's actually more than UPSC. More than 30 lakh people write the exam every year. And there also, people, prepare for 2 years, 3 years and all. SSC, CGL, right? Staff Selection Commission, right? So IBPS is also one particular game where, many people are competing. So if at all I'm preparing me 1 week of mock test and I'm clearing those exams, that means no, yaar. इसमें तो failure तो नहीं है. ऐसा नहीं है कि we don't know studying or we don't know how to study. We have that particular talent, right? So, but UPSC, somehow we have to do this particular part. So whatever was required for UPSC, I made sure I will do for this. And today, because of that particular reason, I have cleared that exam. Even you people, whenever you feel that idu madididre adagtittu, when you stop doing it, that is the day you succeed. Yeah, it will take time, roughly around, you I think 2 or 3 attempts you people have given. If at all you are giving this many attempts, now you would have prepared for the exam. But if you have honestly prepared for this, 10, 11, 12 months, UPSC, that is enough. Because 12 months knowledge you are taking, in that particular level skills and your whatever the craft I was mentioning that you're working out, that is sufficient to clear this particular exam. People ಜನ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಹೇಳು, ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ನಾಲೆಜು ರಿವಿಷನ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ, ಈ ಬುಕ್ಸ್ ತೊಗೊಳ್ಳೋಣ, ಆ ಬುಕ್ ಓದೋಣ, ಇದು ಮಾಡೋಣ, ಇದು ನೋಟ್ಸ್ ಓದೋಣ, ಅದನ್ನು ಓದೋಣ, ಎಲ್ಲನೂ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ವಿತೌಟ್ ಫೋಕಸಿಂಗ್ ಆನ್ ದ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ದ ಕ್ರಾಫ್ಟ್ ವಿಚ್ ಇಸ್ ರಿಕ್ವೈರ್ಡ್ ಫಾರ್ ದಿಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್. Yes or no? So focus on what is required for the exam rather than focusing on those things which is a very slight crunch. Out of, let us say, 7-8 lakh people who apply for prelims, 1 lakh people will be serious, they'll be knowledgeable, ಓದಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ನೀವೇನು ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ ಅದೇ ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮೀಕಾಂತ್, ಅದೇ ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ರಮ್, ಅದೇ 5 ಸರಿ ಓದಿರ್ತಾರೆ. Yes or no? If you're not reading, then you doesn't come under the serious category person. But if you're doing, 1 lakh people will do. Yes or no? But why out of that only 15,000 right means, and why only 1,000 be in the list, final list? Something they are doing, no? So you have to identify that particular part. Once you identify and start doing, even you will be in that particular list. Otherwise, I know you should not tell this, but UPSC is like a swirl. Once it is sikakomuttre, UPSC to every year it happens. But KPSC, how things are. ಅದರದಲ್ಲಿ ಫ್ರಸ್ಟ್ರೇಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಕಾಯಿ ಬೈ ವೇಟಿಂಗ್ ಫ್ರಸ್ಟ್ರೇಷನ್ ಆಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ ನಿಮಗೆ. ಬಟ್ UPSC ಇಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಅ ಸ್ವಾಲ್. ಒಂದ್ಸರಿ ಅಟೆಂಪ್ಟ್ ಕೊಡ್ತೀರಾ ಆಗಲ್ಲ, ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಸರಿ ಕೊಡ್ತೀರಾ ಪ್ರಿಲಿಮ್ಸ್ ಹೆಂಗೋ ಸಮ್ಮ ವಿಲ್ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್, ವಿಲ್ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್, ಮೇನ್ಸ್ ಏನು ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ ಆಗಿರಲ್ಲ, ದೆನ್ ಥರ್ಡ್ ಅಟೆಂಪ್ಟ್ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಗಿವ್, ಮೇನ್ಸ್ಗೂ ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ ಆಗಿರ್ತೀರಾ, ದೆನ್ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಗಿವ್ ಇಂಟರ್ವ್ಯೂ, ದೆನ್ ಓಕೆ ಫೈನ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡಿರ್ತೀರಾ, ಪ್ರಿಲಿಮ್ಸ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ, ಈ ಥರ CSAT ಏನೋ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ, ಪ್ರಿಲಿಮ್ಸ್ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ನಾಟ್ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್, ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಗೆಟ್ ಸ್ಟಕ್. So do what is required for the exam. If you're not doing it, it becomes very much problematic. Obviously those things are there which are beyond your control. Luck factor agirbodu, who is going to evaluate your paper agirbodu, idella irbodu, that is not beyond hand. But writing, reading these many times, doing revision, solving these many mock papers for your mains, you have to write this number of essays and this number of optional test series. That is all in your hand. That is all in there in your hand. If you're not doing that particular part, then why are you here? You have to ask yourself. This exam, takes a lot of sacrifice. You know it. You would have sacrificed relations. You have sacrificed, obviously, money to you are doing every time. 10 to 15,000 to kharch aagtane ide. That's anyway it is happening. So you have to think every day. If you're not studying, you have to ask. Let us say, roughly 12,000. You take a month, divide by 30. How much it will be? Roughly 400 rupees you are spending every day. So if at all you're not, out of which, let us say 12 hours, let us take out. Remaining 12 hours, andre 400 divided by 12. So roughly, if you're wasting 1 hour, you're like, wasting 33 rupees. You're wasting. And be on one point, you will realize that, okay, ishtu duddu waste agoide. You are staying here, right? ನಿಮ್ಮ ಅಪ್ಪ ಅಮ್ಮ, wherever it is the money is coming from, this much money is going. So if at all you are here, do what is required. Otherwise, leave it. Otherwise, leave it. Because the serious competition is very high. 1 lakh are very serious people. They are very serious people. I know how many people apply for this exam, adalla gottu, but 1 lakh are very serious and they are doing what is required. If you are not doing it, then it's better you leave this particular thing, because trust me, 12th fail ನೋಡಿ ಇನ್ಸ್ಪಿರೇಷನ್ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ, ಆಸ್ಪಿರೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ನೋಡಿ ನಮಗೂ ಇದು ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ, ಪೃಥ್ವಿ ನೋಡಿ ನಾವು ಪುನೀತ್ ರಾಜ್ಕುಮಾರ್ ಥರ ಆಗೋಣ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ, ಸಿಂಗಮ್ ನೋಡಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಜೋಶ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಬಟ್ ದ ಹಾರ್ಶ್ ರಿಯಾಲಿಟಿ ಆಫ್ ದಿಸ್ ಕಾಂಪಿಟೇಟಿವ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್, you like it or not, 99.99% people fail here. Only 0.001% pass, and ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ನೋಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು no one talks about 99.99. No one talks. ಅವ್ರ ಫ್ರಸ್ಟ್ರೇಷನ್ ಏನು, ಅವ್ರ ಫೇಲಿಯರ್ಸ್ ಏನು, ಅವ್ರ ನೋವುಗಳೇನು, ಏನೇನು ಸ್ಯಾಕ್ರಿಫೈಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅವ್ರು ಏನು ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಿದ್ರು, 2 ಅಟೆಂಪ್ಟ್ ಆಯಿತು, 3 ಅಟೆಂಪ್ಟ್ ಆಯಿತು, 6 ಅಟೆಂಪ್ಟ್ ಆಯಿತು. when the result had come, I think one tweet had become very much viral. That person had given 12 attempts. 12 attempts, he had given some 5 mains and some 3 or 4 interviews. He didn't clear at the end of the day. Harsh reality this is. So if you're not doing what is required, it's better do something else in your life. India is full of opportunities now. India is full of talent. Wherever you go, you will be utilizing your talent. Don't waste your youth, because this exam, ವಯಸ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಇರಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಮದುವೆ ಆಗಿ ಮಕ್ಕಳೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ you will be healthy, you can do whatever you want. After one beyond a point, if you are getting married, there also you have to just settle for something. This is our reality. This is like how society is, right? So if at all you're doing everything, ದುಡ್ಡು ಆಗ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಾ, ರಿಲೇಷನ್ ಸ್ಯಾಕ್ರಿಫೈಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ, you're not doing what your friends are doing, they are going to Lakshadweep or they are enjoying over there, and you're sitting in Chandralod or Vijaynagar studying every day 10 hours, ಅದೇ ಬೈಟು, ಅದೇ ಕಾಫಿ ಕಟ್ಟೆ, ಅದೇ ದೇವಿ ಉಪ್ಪಾರು, ಇದೇ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಾ ವರ್ಷ ಪೂರ್ತಿ, ಇದೇ ಅಟೆಂಪ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಪೂರ್ತಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಅಂದ್ರೆ you have to think, no, you cannot do this forever. One point ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ it has to get that full stop. So do what is required. Get a mentor, get a guide. Otherwise, attempt ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. By God's grace or by your luck, if you find the way, fine, but attempt ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. Otherwise, harsh reality is 99.99 people, you know, they don't take anything from this particular place. Either it may be ORN in Delhi, it may be Ashok Nagar in Hyderabad, or it may be Chandra Layout in Bangalore. 99.99 people go empty handed to their home. In terms of exam, obviously knowledge, skills, this and all is addition. You will become a good citizen, everything. But idella nimu gottu. Society ಏನು ಗೊತ್ತು, ರಿಲೇಟಿವ್ಸ್ ಏನು ಗೊತ್ತು, ಫ್ಯಾಮಿಲಿಗೆ ಏನು ಗೊತ್ತು? ಅ ಪರ್ಸನ್ ಹೂ ಗೇವ್ 3-4 attempts, 4-5 ವರ್ಷ ಓದದ, ಏನು ಸಿಕ್ಕಿಲ್ಲ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಇಷ್ಟೇ ಇರೋದು ಸೊಸೈಟಿಲಿ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ದ ಡೇ ಯು ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಅಪ್ರೋಚ್ ಎನಿ ಗರ್ಲ್ ಆರ್ ಬಾಯ್ ಫಾರ್ ಎನಿ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಮ್ಯಾರೇಜ್ ಆರ್ ರಿಲೇಷನ್, ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದೆ ಲೈಫಲ್ಲಿ 3-4 ವರ್ಷ, ದೇ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಯು. Going to a company, 3-4 years you took a break. What did you achieve? This is a fact. This has happened to people, to my own friends. That is why I am telling. Okay, I took a particular, a very riskier way where I was, you know, fixed in my mind that even though, you know, when SSC GL in 2023, when that particular appointment letter had come, you know, my dad has sent me the particular photo of this, and he asked me through WhatsApp only, what will you do? I told, I am not going. He was like, okay. But he, you know, supported with my decision. But that decision, it was a very risky decision. Avatin dina ಮಾಡ್ತಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ it becomes very much difficult to give your mains. Even if you prelims ಗೆ 1 ತಿಂಗಳು ಓದಿದ್ರು ಸಾಕು ಅಂದ್ರೂ, mains ಗೆ you need time to prepare, right? Once you are in the training or in the job, it becomes very difficult to prepare for the exam. That day I took a very tough decision. I do not recommend to anyone. I do not recommend, because practical reality is something else, right? So take a safe game. On the beyond, on the 3-4 years, you do whatever is required. Or maybe, you know, I do not to discourage anyone, whatever you are giving your attempts, do with honesty. Do what is required for the exam. After that, if you are not doing that, no, it's better you go back home. 1 ವರ್ಷ waste ಆಯಿತು, ಟೈಮು ದುಡ್ಡು ವೇಸ್ಟ್ ಆಯಿತು, fine. At least you will not waste 3-4 years. You will not waste 3-4 years. This is the harsh reality of this exam, these competitive exams. Do what is required, otherwise quit from here. Okay, so very harsh reality in the ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟೆ, rather than motivating you people. But I feel that you know, 12th fail aspirants, it gives you hopes and all, but no one speaks about the harsh reality of the people who didn't clear the exam. Equally knowledgeable, equally deserving, equally done hard work. They didn't clear, right? So anyway, I'll open, I think I have half an hour. Any particular questions you people have with respect to preparation or academics, you can ask. Sir, difficult to digest sir, ನೀವೇನೇನೋ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ರಿ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ 10 ನಿಮಿಷದಲ್ಲಿ. ಇವಾಗ ನಮಗೇನು ತಲೆನೇ ಓಡ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. Anyone has anything? Yeah. Thank you. ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಜೋರಾಗಿ ಮಾತಾಡಿ. ಓಕೆ. So his question basically is, the short passages are ones, you know, he finds difficulty, and they are difficult because they are all philosophical comprehensions, and there are, you know, long passages will be there. ಓದೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಟೈಮ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, you know, it will take 2-3 minutes. Then so his question is, can we just see the options, then directly answer for those long particular thing? So I will suggest you, you know, don't not reading the comprehension, that will work in the last 10 minutes or 15 minutes. But if at all you are solving your comprehension in the starting only, 40-45 minutes you have. You can, you know, rather than believing in reasoning or aptitude for being 100% correct, CSAT is one thing where you can be, you know, sure, okay, ಇದು correct ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ. You read that particular thing, you mark it on the paper only, but just for safety, quick reading ಮಾಡಿ. You know, quick reading, not a detailed reading. Quick reading ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ so little underline, if you do the keywords, then you see the options again. You will only get a particular clarity. Okay, fine, I can go for this anta. And yeah, as he told, shortest passages are always the easy traps in UPSC, because they're all philosophical. Beyond the English, you need the understanding to answer those. So always when you're, you know, answering, usually our trend is ಯಾವುದು ತುಂಬಾ ಚಿಕ್ಕದಾಗಿದೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ, ದೊಡ್ಡದಾಗಿರೋದು ಆಮೇಲೆ ಮಾಡೋಣ ಅಂತ. But it's actually the other way around. Whichever is the longest, that will be the easiest one, because all the information will be beyond in that particular words only. You just have to choose and get the answer. But philosophically, ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು, ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ನ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು, then you have to answer that particular part. So in my opinion, or in my understanding, I will tell you, do the long ones. Just for safety, read the comprehension ones, then do the short ones. You will have time. 40-45 minutes for 28 questions is sufficient. But just make sure you're doing quick reading. Don't spend 5 minutes. 5 minutes martidre, you don't have time. Spend maximum 2 minutes for the long comprehension. Short, though, obviously you need less than 1 minute, right? Anyone else? Hmm. Definitely, I to believe that formulas never work in CSAT. It's always the tricks and common sense what you are using that only works. Because since you have solved SSC, CGL, you have given multiple exams, so it's easier for you. But a person who has not done anything, for that particular person, it's very difficult. When you're doing, IBPS, SSC, CGL, you know the syllabus. Not all the aptitude questions, but at least 40% to aram se you can do. Right? So adna tricks alle ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. Even in SSCGL we don't use formulas, right? We use by tricks only, majority of the time, because there in SSCGL you have 1 minute for one question. Here though there are 35 questions, ನಿಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದು. You do reasoning, you do your aptitude, or you do English. But the only time frame is 30 minutes, 30 questions. Some of the exam 30 minutes, 50 questions will be there. So less than a minute. So there you have to use, most of the time tricks only. So that definitely works. And if you have that advantage of solving the remaining exams, obviously use it for apti. You can choose apti and reasoning only, since that is your strength. It's not like a one size fit all that you have to start with English comprehension only. I told for those people who are not given those and prepared for those. Anyone else? Essay. Okay, see, what do you want to know in essay? Tell me. That itself is a session. How to start? Okay. I'll tell you in a very brief way. Obviously, that itself is a session. Maybe 5 minutes I'll try to crux it. Okay. See, writing essay, there are multiple ways of writing. Obviously, two types of is asked. One is GS, one is philosophical. So, any particular essay, one is you can write with respect to time frame. That is, you talk about past, you talk about, when I tell about past, ancient, medieval, modern, then you write about post-independence, then you write about present, then you write about future. What is a futurist possibility? So this is what time frame based essay. Then there is something called multi-dimensional essay, where you touch upon social part, political part, you talk about economy, you talk about history, you talk about IR, right? All this is with respect to whatever is your syllabus, you're touching every part. Let us say 2 paragraphs about everything. That is your multi-dimensional essay. One more time wipe is, what is that particular statement meaning, why it is asked, where it was before, if at all it is related to a particular person, who it is, how, everywhere question mark. So we usually call it W5H, where all the W's, where, what, why, then how. W5H approach. So this particular approach is, most of the time it is for philosophical, because philosophy you cannot get time frame or multi-dimension. You can get, but this is like the safest approach, right? So these three are the major approaches for essay. Beyond this are also there, but usually this is considered. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ knowledge ಇದೆ, ತುಂಬಾ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ you can articulate everything, means you always choose the third category. Okay, third category. You are good with history, you are good with time frame, you can remember things, but you cannot remember any other aspects. First thing. Worst case ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೂ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ನಮ್ಗೆ ಏನೂ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮೀನಿಂಗ್ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಅಂತ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ you touch upon everything 2 paragraph, it will fill up the page. So this is like always consider the third time. This you have to choose the third when you don't know anything about that particular essay, ಅಥವಾ ಏನೂ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಅವತ್ತಿನ ದಿನಕ್ಕೆ ಇದನ್ನ choose ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. But most of the time what they do is, 75% of the students, they go for the third part only, because that's the easiest way to do. That's the easiest way to do. This is the most difficult part. But if you are writing this approach, I have observed that if you are writing this, your essay will be good and you get more marks also. I to personally always recommend the third category. Even I used to do the third category only, right? And remember, whichever is the easiest, ಎಲ್ಲರೂ easiest ಅಂದರೆ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ, right? ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂದಾಗ they will not give you marks. You have to be the bestest of the best to get the marks. But if you are doing something little bit unique, or which not many people are doing, you have a very high chance to get more marks. You have a very high chance to get more marks. This I'm talking with respect to only mains, okay? Don't think ನಾನು ಓದೋದು ಹಿಂಗೆ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀನಿ, ನಾನು ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ರಮ್ ಓದಲ್ಲ ಇವಾಗ, ನಾನು ಬೇರೆದೇನೋ ಓದ್ತೀನಿ. I will not read Lakshmikant, no, I'll read Placid to Partition ಓದ್ತೀನಿ, I'll read, BS Goa ಓದ್ತೀನಿ. Don't do all those. I think I've told you again and again in the classes also, your intention or ambition is to win the race game. ಅದು ಅಂಬಾಸಡರಲ್ಲೂ ಗೆಲ್ಬೋದು, ಫರಾರಿಲೂ ಗೆಲ್ಬೋದು, ಡಿಪೆಂಡ್ಸ್ ಆನ್ ದ ಡ್ರೈವರ್. But if you are that particular person who will invent the paint, who will invent the engine, who will choose the oil, ಎಲ್ಲಾನು ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು without concentrating on the race game, then though you will be left out there only, no? So don't reinvent the wheel. Wheel is always the circle, engine ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ engine ಹಂಗೇನೆ, paint ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ paint ಹಂಗೇನೆ. Same things, 85% what people are doing. 15% what in the mains which I mentioned, ಅದನ್ನ ವೇರಿ ಮಾಡೋದು is a different thing. ಅಂಬಾಸಡರ್ಗೆ ಒಂದು ಏನಾದರೂ ಏನಂತಾರೆ ಅದನ್ನ, some nitro car thing if you put, then it is a different thing. But ambassador is a car only, it doesn't change, right? So don't do that mistake of doing everything uniquely. Forget 5 years, 10 years. I don't even know whether in 15 years also you clear UPSC, if at all you do that, because 5 ವರ್ಷ ಬರೀ ಅದು ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗೋಗುತ್ತೆ, right? So this is with respect to your types of essay. Now with respect to introduction, that depends on person. If you are a creative person, you are good in writing, can you at the spot can you reinvent a story which is relevant to the topic? We have to make up a story. Or if you're good with current affairs, ಏನದು current affairs ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೋ ಒಂದು event ಬಂತು, let us say social harmony or something comes up, social harmony or unity in the society. Then if your mind automatically thinks about Methi and Kuki violence, then you mention about in a very brief way, maybe 1.5 page, and related it how that social harmony is being spoiled like this. Or if at all any particular social harmony positive ಆಗಿ ಬರಿಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ, you talk about, let us say, Kerala, Onam is celebrated by all the religions. So you mention about it, you create your own story that Anthony was there, Ali was there, Arjun was there. They always come up, I'm just giving a brief. ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಒಂದೇ ದಿನ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು they celebrate the culture. This shows the unity in diversity in India. You mention like that if at all you want to do that. But on spot ಆಗಬೇಕು. See, out of 3 hours, you have 5 minutes to choose the essay. Only 5 minutes. Only 5 minutes you have. Remaining you have 5 minutes for the last review. So roughly how many minutes you have? 2 hours 50 minutes. So each essay 1 hour 25 minutes. 1 hour 25 minutes. So in this 1 hour 25 minutes, 15 minutes will go for brainstorming. 15 minutes to minimum you have to give, right? Brainstorming, I hope everyone understands. Brainstorming it will go. The remaining 1 hour you write. You write the essay in only 1 hour. You write the essay only in 1 hour. You don't write it in 1.5 hours. Only 1 hour. In the last 10 minutes ಏನಿದೆ, that you can just keep our reference. ಒಂದು ವೇಳೆ ಈ essay ಅಲ್ಲಿ 1.5 ಗಂಟೆ ತಗೊಂಡ್ಬಿಡ್ತು, next essay 1 hour ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮುಗಿಸ್ಬೋದು. So that is the calculation always it takes in essay writing. So how much is the difference? 1 hour is the time required for writing your essay. So when you're doing the brainstorm, if you can think about a story or some current affairs, bang on irbeku. And remember, if the introduction gets spoiled, if it is not bang on, people see, I'll tell you, essay na yaru word by word ಓದಲ್ಲ. They don't read word by word. They just glance through it. Glance ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ introduction, the first 2 pages ನ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ನೋಡ್ತಾರೆ ಏನು ಬರ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ. If it is not bang on, 2 page beyond 8 page, remaining 7-8 pages ನೀವು ಏನಾದರೂ ಬರ್ತೀರಿ, ಎಷ್ಟೇ ಯೂನಿಕ್, ಎಷ್ಟೇ you become whatever you become and write, they will not give you marks if your introduction is not bang on. Introduction is always like the trailer of the movie. If it is bang on, ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆಯೋ ಇಲ್ಲೋ ಮುಂದಕ್ಕೆ ಜನ ಬಂದು ನೋಡ್ತಾರೆ. Same way your essay will also be read. So make sure whatever introduction writing, it's bang on. It should be exact relevant to the thing. People lose in the introduction only. They don't lose in the whole essay. They don't lose in English. They don't lose in grammar. They lose in introduction. So introduction has to be the bang on. So either you can create a story or get it from current affairs, or you mention something historical. Something historical about Gandhi agirbodu, about Ashoka agirbodu, about your, let us say, Akbar agirbodu. Yara the historical. But remember, you cannot screw up in historical because everyone knows 100% accuracy ಇರಬೇಕು. You cannot get Deena Ilahi ಯಾರು ತಂದಿದ್ದು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಔರಂಗಜೇಬ್ ಹೇಳಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ ನೀವು. Don't do that mistake. Obviously it was Akbar. So you should not mess up with the static information with respect to history if you are choosing. Current affairs ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಲ್ಲ. Creativity ನೀವು ಏನಾದರೂ ಹಾಕೊಳ್ಳಿ because it's your own creativity. So just remember that particular with respect to introduction. I believe that in my opinion that it should not start with a quote. You can start. It's not like you not start. But if a quote is already given in the essay, why you are getting one more quote? Point, right? So one page ಏನೇ ಬರೆದಿದ್ರು, you write as a story, you write as anecdote, you write something, which is relevant, or you just expand whatever is given. For let us say, 75% of the page, you expand it, but don't write again a quote. Are quote ka quote, why are you writing, right? But remember, if at all you started with a current affairs or history, or let us say your own story, the conclusion will be the same. It has to be the same. Illi you started with Mother Teresa, it cannot end with, let us say, Priyanka who? Chopra. It's politically correct. So anyway, okay. So have you understood that particular part? So is there anything else? I mean, essay itself is a session, okay. So maybe we can take up that particular session where we can actually practice it also. Adu heladike tumba time hididu hogutte. But writing with respect to this, and one more thing you remember, usually I have seen that people write points, numbers haktare, points haktare. It's a essay. In English, essay li never points, no, nothing comes. It's a paragraph. And from one paragraph to second paragraph, there is a transition. In your video games and in your Instagram or reels ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ effect ಆಗ್ತಿರಲ್ಲ transition ಗೆ, you will not automatically change like this, no. You put a transition effect, no. You do, I know. Okay, when you're putting your reels, if you're putting transition effect, even your essay there should be a transition. You cannot, you're talking about history, next paragraph you cannot talk about economy. Something you have to talk in between also. Maybe you can get some historical event related to economy, then you move to economy. That is a transition. Direct agittu andre anyone will not like it. And remember, one sentences, one paragraph should contain maximum 5 to 6 sentences. One sentence should consider maximum 5 to 6 words. That's fine. Okay, and the standard size is 11.5 pages. But if you write about 10 pages, that's fine. It will be sufficient enough. Okay, but ಕೆಲವರು ತುಂಬಾ ಸಣ್ಣದಾಗಿ ಬರೀತಾರೆ. Okay, my GS thing is very big I'll write. But essay is one thing which I write very small because I have a lot of content to write. I want to write. If you don't give me space, how will I finish? How will I, not tell what I want to tell? So I write very small. So it depends on person to person which approach you take. See, because 1 hour only we are writing. 1 hour is like what, 10 pages in GS. How much time it take? How much time, man? So roughly you take around 28 minutes to write 10 pages in GS. Here you are getting double time. So obviously write, more, no? You compress your font size, write more how much ever you want. If you see calculation, now some people will be thinking, sir, 2 ಅವರಲ್ಲೂ ಎಸೆ ಮುಗಿತಿಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಾ ನೀವು? ಟೋಟಲ್ ಆಗಿ 5 ಅವರ್ ತೊಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಎಸೆ ಮುಗಿತಿಲ್ಲ ನಮ್ಮದು, ನೀವು ಹೆಂಗೆ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ 1 ಅವರಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಾ? ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಆಗತ್ತದು, ಒಂದೇ ದಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗಲ್ಲ ಅದು. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ that is with respect to that. And second thing, as minimum as possible, don't underline except the keywords. If you are underlining too much, it becomes messy. Okay, and remember, you also think as a essay reader, ಓದಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ you should feel happy, pleasant. If you are writing a paragraph of 5 sentences without punctuation mark, continuous ಆಗಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಾ, you cannot read it. You should feel pleasant. Only if you feel pleasant, out of 125 marks, he'll give you 125 only marks. ಎಷ್ಟು subjectivity ಇದೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾ? He can give you 70 also, 80 also, how much ever he feels. So subjectivity ಇದ್ದಾಗ you should feel better. This is how things will work. Okay, so beyond this, maybe in we'll speak some other time with respect to essay, where we discuss what are the different types of introduction, what are the value additions we can use. ಈ particular aspect, ಈ field ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಾಗ ಈ ಜನ ಯಾವ್ಯಾವ ಜನ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. For example, ಒಂದು ಏನೋ field ಬಂದಾಗ 5 ಜನ ಅಂತೂ ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಕಂಪಲ್ಸರಿ, if you prepare, ಏನೇ ಟಾಪಿಕ್ ಬರಲಿ ಆ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಬಂದಾಗ 5 ಜನ ಮೆನ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬಹುದು. ಎನಿ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಹಿಸ್ಟಾರಿಕಲ್ ಇವೆಂಟ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ಡ್ ರಿಯಲಿ ವೆಲ್, ಸಮ್ 10-12, ಎಲ್ಲೋ ಒಂದು ಕಡೆ ಇಂಟ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಹೆಂಗೋ ಒಂದು ತೋರ್ಸೋಣ ಒಂದು. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಆಲ್ ವಿಲ್ ಟೇಕ್ ಟೈಮ್, to understand, to make your own. Whatever I have made, you cannot use that particular thing because I will remember everything. You have to read and memorize. So I want you to yourself make, and you don't have to memorize. That will only work. And remember, this is how things work. If you're reading someone else's notes, whoever has made the notes, he knows what he has made. ಏನೇನು ಪಕ್ಕ ಗೊತ್ತಿರ್ತದೆ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಬರೆಯೋಕೆ ಹೋಗಲ್ಲ. For example, if I have to write my history notes, I know the date of 23rd March of this particular thing happened. ನಂಗೆ ಪಕ್ಕ ಗೊತ್ತೆ, I will not forget it. But if I am giving you my notes, ನನಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ that's why purposely I have not written. But you don't know that, no? You will think that is not there in the notes. Why should I do? Are you understanding? So make your own notes how much ever time it's possible, because then only things will happen. Otherwise no. ORN ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ರೋಡ್ ಇದೆ, ಎವ್ರಿ ಮಂಡೇ ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ಕರೋಲ್ಬಾಗ್ ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ 1 kg ಟಾಪರ್ ನೋಟ್ಸ್ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ 12 ರೂಪಾಯಿಗೆ. ಇಫ್ ಅಟ್ ಆಲ್ ನೋಟ್ಸ್ ಇಂದನೇ ಪಾಸ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದಿದ್ರೆ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮು, ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ORNಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟೆ ಒಂದಿನ kg ಗಟ್ಟಲೆ ನೋಟ್ಸ್ ತಗೊಂಡು ಮಾಡುತ್ತಿದ್ರು. ಬಟ್ ಯು ಡೋಂಟ್ ಪಾಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ ದಟ್, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ಮೇಕ್ ಯುವರ್ ಓನ್ ನೋಟ್ಸ್. ಐ ಫೀಲ್ ದಟ್ smart way is obviously reading someone's thing, but there is a risk involved. If you're making your own notes, no risk involved, you can be 100% confident about it, right? So anything else apart from that? Optionals. Okay. Others, everyone has chosen their optional. ನೀವು ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ, ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಟ್ರಾ? ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ? ಹಾಂ ಹಾಂ ಕೆಮಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ. ಓಕೆ. What about others? Anyone else has to take a optional? Everyone has chosen and everyone is prepared also. Chosen ashte sir, application form goskara, preparation and all we'll do. We'll do after prelims. Correct? Correct, Satish? Correct. So see, for those people who are yet to choose, there are few criteria before choosing it. Okay, there are few criteria. One is obviously your interest, 100%. I'll just finish it in quickly. You should have interest because you don't know how many attempts you're going to take. And attempts ತಗೋಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ you should be studying it, at least 6 months in a year, you have to read it again and again. So interest ಇರಬೇಕು ಅದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ. Second, what type of person you are. Your brain is, other than you, how your brain works. If your brain is analytical, that means you're good in maths, you're good in geography, you can understand, imagine things, how it is happening. They are different brain people. Then there is one more people who are good with history, who are good in theory. ಒಂದು ಏನಾದ್ರು ಮೆಮೊರೈಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಒಳ್ಳೇದಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಯಾರು ಅನಾಲಿಟಿಕಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, they cannot memorize things, right? They cannot memorize things. So those particular people are static people, theory based people. So ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂತ ಒಂದಷ್ಟು ಆಪ್ಷನಲ್, ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂತ ಒಂದಷ್ಟು ಆಪ್ಷನಲ್ ಇದೆ. Third particular thing, the most important part is the guidance or a mentor. How to read that particular optional. See, if you're reading just the basic books, writing what is there with you, let us say if you have taken anthropology, 2000 people or 3000 people are also writing anthropology, and out of 3000 maybe some 250 to 300 people will get selected in the final list. Remaining 2700 not getting selected. What did they write? They have to be the bestest of the best. Are you understanding? So guidance and mentor is important to get that particular. Books ಓದಿ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಬರೆಯಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗಲ್ಲ ಆಪ್ಷನಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. Fourth thing, competition. For example, right now the trending subjects, I think PSR and Anthro, right? I think that day I told you the trends also. Out of 350 people who wrote mains from Karnataka region, out of that more than 120 people are Anthro people, and more than 80 people were your PSR people. Remaining 120 ಎಲ್ಲ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ಗಳು ಸೇರಿತ್ತು. 20 of sociology, 20 of geography, 20 of history, 20 of Kannada literature, etc, etc, etc. So competition ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಬಂಡಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ಒಂದು ಬಂಡಲ್ ಇದೆ, 24 ಜನ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ ಒಂದು ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ರೂಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ರೈಟ್? ಒಂದು ಬಂಡಲ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಇಫ್ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಕರೆಕ್ಟಿಂಗ್, if you are not written up to the mark and someone else, ನಿಮ್ ಲಕ್ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿಲ್ಲ, the first copy is the best copy, is written very good, second copy run satta, because he will not get marks. The evaluator has seen the best answer copy. Obviously it's a subjective. ನೀವು ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡಿ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಬ್ರೈನ್ ಹೆಂಗೆ ವರ್ಕ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. You have seen the best, will you go to the second one? After eating ಮೇಘ್ನಾ ಬಿರಿಯಾನಿ, will you go to ದಮ್ ಬಿರಿಯಾನಿ? No, right? But ದಮ್ ಬಿರಿಯಾನಿ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಮೇಘ್ನಾ ತುಂಬಾ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ, right or no? That's the best example you can take. So make sure competition optimum ಆಗಿರಬೇಕು. Right now see, few subjects are being butchered. You understand butchering? Bakra. So that every year it happens, UPSC make sure it does. And one more new thing what UPSC has got is, they will normalize the marks. So suppose you got 350 in mathematics, you will not get 350 in the real score. They will reduce to 320, 350, 325, they will reduce it. Suppose your optional ellaru poor perform ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ, let us say you got sociology, everyone got like around 200, so they will increase your marks to 250. Normalization they will do. It is like they have to do. Otherwise, one paper easy when one paper kashta bandre, that thing won't work out. So see your competition. Fifth is marks analysis of the toppers in your optional, who has how much they have got, and those also people who have not got. How many people are getting marks, how many are not getting? Where will you find this, sir? You have to ask some person who was there in the group where all this discussion happens. ನೀವಿರೋ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ನೀವಿರೋ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ RCB ಸೋಲ್ತಿದೆ ಮಚ್ಚ, ಇದಾಗ್ತಿದೆ ಮಚ್ಚ, ಯಾವತ್ತೂ ಗೆಲ್ಲಲ್ಲ ಮಚ್ಚ, ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಚ್ಚ ಕಪ್ ನಮ್ದೇ, ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಬಟ್ some standard groups ಅಲ್ಲಿ this thing will be discussed. ಯಾರಿಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಬರ್ತಿದೆ, there will be analysis happening. So catch hold of a senior or a mentor who is there in that group. They will have all the analysis ready. Excel sheet ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ರೆಡಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ if at all, ethically they are not supposed to share that data with outsiders. But if at all, they have to improve your marks, they might give you the screenshot of it. So you catch hold of those particular people. Okay. So this marks analysis is very important. For example, Kannada literature, for those of you aspiring, Kannada literature marks ಸಿಗ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. The maximum marks you will get is 250, and 250 is the minimum marks in all the optionals. ಅದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಇರೋ ನಾನು ಲಿಸ್ಟಲ್ಲೇ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಲಿಸ್ಟಲ್ಲೇ ಇರಲ್ಲ ಅವನು. ಬಟ್ ಇನ್ ಕನ್ನಡ ಲಿಟರೇಚರ್ 250 is the highest marks the current topper has got. ಸೊ ಹಿಂಗಿರ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಚೂಸ್ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ಸ್ಟಡಿಂಗ್ ಎವ್ರಿಥಿಂಗ್. ಜಿ ಎಸ್ ಅಷ್ಟು ಓದಿರ್ತೀರಾ, ಪ್ರಿಲಿಮ್ಸ್ ಹೆಂಗೋ ಬಚಾವಾಗಿ ಪಾಸ್ ಆಗಿರ್ತೀರಾ, ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಇಂಟರ್ವ್ಯೂ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತೀರಾ, and because of one option if it decreases you have to think about it, right? So think the mark, get this marks analysis with respect to this. And anything else? Yeah, obviously the sources though is very important. You take, let us say, biology, physics, chemistry, and you don't find a test series, how will you improve? How will you improve? You cannot improve. No one will give you test series for biology, physics, chemistry. Maths you will get because many people take, but kammi jana tagolodu. For example, you cannot take in Karnataka, let us say, Manipuri literature. Obviously, where will you get test series? Who will correct for you? Similarly, if you have taken some science subject or anything, who is going to correct for you? So you have to think about it. You might be expert in it. I'm not telling those people don't clear at all anta, but think practically also once, right? So sources, books, test series, all this is there or not? If it is not there, how will you prepare, right? So these are the factors which will go, and there are 5 standard optional subjects where anthro, PSIR, sociology, your geography, anything I missed, history, anything else? Maths, literature and all, commerce and all will come in a second category, and this is the rarest category where physics, chemistry, biology and all will come. Okay, so these 5 are the standard part. So if you consider your static subject, your sociology is a static subject, history is a static subject, in a more analytical subject. Okay, and one more thing will also help you is your overlapping of the syllabus. For example, if you take your PSIR, whole modern history, whole polity governance, whole IR, you don't have to as much study in your GS part, yes or no? If you take geography, environment, geography is a paper only. I have never in these many years or these many attempts, I have never studied geography for GS part, never, because that was my option. Obviously we are studying master level, means we know the basics also, right? For example, this year GS1 paper, they asked a particular question, I forgot the name of that particular place. They asked about that particular winds, I think Bansuri winds or something. In optional particular part, somewhere we have seen that particular reference, it is in the East India. But a normal person who is writing GS paper, he will not even have any reference, because no NCERT, no GC Leong, no any other book mentions about this. So overlapping to that extent, it will help you. Sociology, social issues and so your Indian society will be covered completely. If you take anthropology, again, so social issues will be covered. Apart from that, history, obviously, ancient, medieval, art and culture, modern will be, post-independence, everything will be covered in this. Overlapping also you see once. Okay. So coming to your, what else is there? For all these 5, you have enough sources, you have enough guidance, you have enough mentor. Now, for example, you're giving 2025 or 26, at least read, every basic book, basic NCERT, if you are understanding. If you're not understanding it, skip that optional. It's like, I always tell, it's like marriage. Giving divorce is a big headache. After that romantic photo shoot, after getting engagement, after getting marriage, after honeymoon, doing all this, when I mean notes, test series, idella maadi, you cannot change the option. It's very difficult. I'm not telling it's impossible, but it's very painful to do the same cycle again. It's very, very painful. So choose very carefully. Obviously, ivaga application form alli haakbittidre ಏನು ಓದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂಥವ್ರು ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಬಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ದೋಸ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಹು ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ಡ್ ದ ನೋಟ್ಸ್, ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡರ್ಡ್ ಬುಕ್ಸ್ ಓದಿದ್ದೀರಾ, ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಸೀರೀಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀರಾ, ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಿ, ಯು ಆರ್ ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ಡ್ ಫಾರ್ ಆಪ್ಷನಲ್. ಯು ಆರ್ ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ಡ್. ದಟ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ವೆನ್ ಯು ಕ್ಲಿಯರಿಂಗ್ ಯುವರ್ ಪ್ರಿಲಿಮ್ಸ್, ಆಪ್ಷನಲ್ಗೆ ಆಬ್ವಿಯಸ್ಲಿ ಯು ಡೋಂಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಸ್ಪೆಂಡ್ ಮಚ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಆಲ್. ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ 3 ತಿಂಗಳು ಪೂರ್ತಿ ನೀವು ಬರೀ ಆಂಥ್ರೋಪಾಲಜಿನ, ಐ ಮೀನ್ ವಿಚ್ ಎವರ್ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಟೇಕಿಂಗ್, ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಡೂಯಿಂಗ್ ದಟ್. ಯು ವಾಂಟ್ ಡೂ ಎನಿಥಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ GS or essay, and if you are doing it, it's like the recipe for failure. So obviously you have to be prepared this before prelims only. If not 100%, at least 80% before prelims. Otherwise it's going to become a very big headache. Okay, so anything else you want to know with respect to this? Choose based on this. Okay, don't take a thing because someone else telling or doing. You do all this analysis by yourself. This thing is obviously very important, but these are also equally important. Interest is not the only criteria you have to choose an option, right? Okay, fine. Anything else? Aste, that person is zoned out now. So why did I choose chemistry now? He is completely zoned out. You don't know what is happening. Any other doubt you have? with respect to preparation or any specific thing, stage of the exam, or you're finding, yeah. Yes. You can underline, but you cannot draw, you cannot put graph, you cannot put drawings, that and all you cannot put. GS you can do, not in essay. Max, that's what I told you. Don't, like in GS, usually people underline everything. Essay ಎಷ್ಟು minimum ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅಷ್ಟು ಒಳ್ಳೇದು ಅದು. As per normal English ಬರ್ದವ್ರಿಗೆನೆ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಸಿಗೋದು. And you like it or not, English being strong in your language, English will give you one extra edge in your essay paper. It is usually observed people who get good marks in essay are always are the people who are very comfortable in English, that because you can express in whichever language it is given to you. It is usually founded. And essay is one thing which is a breaker or a thing for you. I know a particular person who got roughly 390 in GS. In his PSIR optional he got 264. Okay, essay he got 60. He missed that final interview list by I think 3 marks. 3 marks he missed the interview call. Array 360 is a very good score in your optional. Very, very good score. PSR this year has got butchered like anything. Many people are not getting beyond 220 or something. 260 is a very good score. Very, very good score. The toppers are getting that particular score. And in your what is that? 390 or 380 in your GS is always above average marks. I think if you have done the analysis, your GS1 is the subject which has dipped a lot. If you are getting 85 above, you are in the list. Usually hangala 100 ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದ್ರೆ ಜನ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ. 85 ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದ್ರೆ people are in. People have got 50 also, 60s also. GS2 is one thing which people have scored very good. 110 plus, 105 plus. Ethics is also 120, 115 is the average score. GS3 is as usual last 2 years ಏನಿದೆ 90, 85, 90 is the average score. So ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ if you're getting above 350, it's the average score. And he has got what 380, 390. Missing the cutoff by 3 marks majorly because of essay 60 marks. This particular year average is 110 in essay. Okay, considering the topmost and the bottommost who are selected. 110 to 115 is the average marks. And he has got almost half of it, means you can imagine how much decider that particular paper is. And anyone who has given mains at least once or was given 1 mark ತಗೊಳ್ಳೋದಕ್ಕೂ it's very difficult in GS paper. Every mark maximum half mark or 1 mark you will get a lead in GS paper. Optional also maybe 2 marks you will get. So but essay is one subject which will give you 50, 60, 40. If you get 150 50, 60 marks aram se lead you get. Essay is always a decider. So that's why I personally tell, usually people whenever they ask after the prelims how much time we should dedicate for every subject, I tell 45% you give for your optional, 45% for GS, 10% time the essay deserves. 10% the minimum essay deserves. ಅದಕ್ಕಿಂತ people will just write essay, 4 essay ಬರೀತಾರೆ, ಕಾಲೇಜು ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ಇದ್ದಂಗೆ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಬರೀತಾರೆ, ಹಂಗೆಲ್ಲ ವರ್ಕೌಟ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. It won't work out like that, right? So 10% time that will take. You have to prepare validation, you have to prepare introduction, you have to prepare conclusion, you have to write essays. It will take time. So just remember this whenever you are writing your mains. Okay, give equal time. Maybe you can give 40% for GS, 50% of optional. This is the ideal thing I'm telling. But obviously if you are not done anything in optional, 90% you will do optional only. GS ನಾನು ಏನೋ ಬರ್ಕೋತೀನಿ, ಕತೆ ಬರ್ಕೋತೀನಿ ಅಂತ. Optional ಕತೆ ಬರೆಯಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. You have to write what is there only, right? So yeah. Anything else? If you have any doubts, if you have got in recently also, you ask me. ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿರೋ ಡೌಟ್ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಕೇಳ್ತೀರಾ, ಅವ್ರ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿರೋ ಡೌಟ್ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಕೇಳ್ತೀರಾ, 3 ಜನನು ಒಂದೇ ಬೋಟಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ. He himself doesn't know whatever he is telling is correct or not. You will feel okay, ಇವನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೇನೆ ಮಾಡೋಣ ಅಂತ. That's why I'm asking. Tell if you have anything doubt in recent times, you ask it. Oh, I've not done the prelims analysis part. No, should have reminded me, no? Tables and analysis. You should have reminded me. Should we beyond another half an hour? It will take time. It will definitely take time. You want me to extend it? Okay. So quickly we'll try to do it. So first is your tables. So see, apart from your whatever Lakshmikant, this and this you're writing, you have to separately prepare few tables, static part. So have you seen spectrum last early? newspaper is there, organization is there, who is the head of that organization, you have seen that particular thing, yes or no? No. Arey spectrum ka last thing, only one is nodding that remaining in ode ilve no. So our tables is from history part. Similarly for ancient and medieval, multiple these ancient medieval names are there. Glossary is there. So ಅದಕ್ಕೊಂದು 250 words ಗಳಿದೆ. ಆ ಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ ಇರಬೇಕು. What are these list? And one simple idea I'll give you. NCERTs ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ 6th standard to 10th standard. 6th standard 10th standard. Every NCERT book, history book, there are maps. Make sure you're taking the Xerox or scan it and together take the Xerox or printout, because every year 2 questions will come from that map. There's no one ಏನಕ್ಕೆ NCERT ಓದಬೇಕು, NCERT ಓದ್ತಾರೆ, maps ನೋಡಲ್ಲ. This Dwara Samudra ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, these places ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ancient places, so nothing, they're not coming random again, they're coming from the maps only. So what you have to do is you take the printout, you have to glance it again and again. You might not attend all 10 out of 10, but at least 5 to 6 you will attend, rather than that person who cannot attend even one question. Okay, so NCERT ka whatever the maps are there, take that Xerox. Okay, so ancient medieval glossary, so you should have at least 250 words are there. So if you read Lucent GK, many of them are covered in that particular 80 pages ka thing only. Okay, then coming to your geography, obviously your ocean waves, that is like it, alternate year pakka one question will be coming. And this year, so I think La Nina started, right? El Nino ended. So obviously one important question that is, okay. So ocean waves. One more thing, geomorphology. You remember in GC Lyon, everyone in paragraph kottidare, which are the erosion based landforms. You seen or no? Why am I sounding like Greek and Latin? Question mark is there on your faces. Are you aware of what I'm talking? So yen maadi andre, for example, your let us say desert based landforms. Which are the deposit landforms, which are erosion landforms? Bari yesru ಮಾತ್ರ ಬೇಕು ನಿಮಗೆ, information ಬೇಡ. ಹೆಸರು ಮಾತ್ರ ನಿಮಗೆ ಬೇಕು. Make that, prepare that table for all the different categories. GC long ತಗೋಬೇಕು, ಪ್ರತಿ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು erosion landform, deposit landform, next landform, change it. Same way if you are doing it, maximum 1 page ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. 1 page ಅಲ್ಲಿ that particular thing will be done. For geography, for environment, national parks, wildlife sanctuary, it's better you write it, because 100% you forget it. You are aware of it? Write it then. Write it, otherwise you will pakka forget. I was talking about history, newspaper, organizations, groups, idella barkoli. In that only the Governor General and Viceroys, which year, when they came, what are the major works they did. This you have to prepare. If you have a group of friends, divide the work. Obbre ಮಾಡ್ತೀರ ಅಂದ್ರೆ it will take a lot of time. If you are a group of friends, divide the work. Maximum 3-4 days it will be done. Whatever I am going to tell next. Then the Congress session, year, who was the president, which place. Then obviously ancient medieval glossary that you can write. The maps of NCERT, the most important part. Geography, landforms, ocean waves, currents. National parks, wildlife sanctuary, biosphere reserves, your wetlands. The different index and ranks, you are aware of it, right? Index and ranks will be coming every year, 400 to 500 index and ranks. Which organization releases it? You can take to any institute, okay, they'll prepare this and give you actually. You can take to any institute, they'll prepare this part. Organization and their headquarters. The different government schemes and policies, which department or ministry is doing it. So for that, whichever monthly or whichever PT you're doing, government schemes will be there. The glossary will be in the starting. So Kelu Institute ಏನಿದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ they have given ministry wise. So just take the Xerox of it and revise it again and again. So that's the easiest way, rather than you typing everything out, right? So then you can, which else subject is there? Budget economic survey, to basic summary you should have 2 pages ka summary. Summary to summary ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. The numbers especially. KPSC to you have to know pinpoint. Date ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕು, 31st January na 1st February na ಅಂತ pinpoint ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕು. UPSC you need not do all those, right? So then what else is there? obviously equator pass ಆಗಿ ಯಾವ countries, so Tropic of Cancer, Tropic of Capricorn, your Greenwich Meridian. Greenwich Meridian and Tropic of Cancer ಆಗ ಒಂದು country ಇದೆ, ಏನದ ಹೆಸರು? Burkina Faso. You should know that particular name. So these are like you should know. Tropic of Cancer in India, which all the states it's passing. And you are aware of that question, right? If you're passing from, let us say, Baramulla to Kanyakumari, how many states minimum you will pass? You know that question, right? Yes or no? So for that India map, political map, you see again and again. Nenpagbeku, imagination alli agalla adu. Then what else is there in tables? Conventions, the different conventions, what is related to? You have to make a list. Ramsar convention is related to this, Minimart is related to Mercury, etc., etc. Then space missions, which mission, which particular organization is doing? Most of them will be NASA, but you should know the remaining also. Don't go for detailed thing, only name of the mission aste, and which planet, if at all anything is there related to the planet. Most of them you can make out, but some of them like Cassini is there, you cannot make out which particular planet they are telling, because it's a Greek name. So on that time only in brackets you mention about it. Then this is very important that you know the disease name, whether it is passing through humans or animals, whether it has a vaccine or not. This table should be prepared, and whether it's bacteria or virus or fungi. So idu ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ ನೀವು ಪಿ ಟಿಗಳು ಓದ್ತಿರ್ತೀರ ತಾನೆ, whenever these table topics will come, update in the tables. ಇವಾಗ ಕುತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಗೂಗಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ 1000 ಮೇಲೆ ಡಿಸೀಸ್ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ, but whatever is there in the PD is only for those you do, otherwise it becomes beyond the thing. Okay, so then defense exercises, yeah, exercise you can see, and also the operations, different operations, animals and their status, especially in the last 2 years, very important. Break alli ನೀವು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ? Like generally when you are taking the break, what do you do? Coffee shop, bird watching, ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ? What you do is bird watching, animal watching you do, not in real life but in national geography, because animal behavior ಮೇಲೆ questions ಬರ್ತಿದೆ. So see from 2018, no? So do animal/bird watching in your Discovery channel. Tiger ಏನು, what is its behavior, what is the behavior of your elephants? Basic animals you should know, not some sandpiper ಯಾವುದೋ insect ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಕೇಳಲ್ಲ, but basics you should know, right? Because it is already asked in your PYQs. Then what else is there? Any particular program has come, a particular department will do that. For example, if you see your this elderly persons ke disability aid sigutte, this is a particular PSU which does that, so you should know that particular PSU's ka name. Okay, and obviously organization and their headquarters, international organization, not the domestic is usually they won't ask. And when you are doing your PT, make sure you are writing the places list as well. Okay, places list as well. How many tables happened? Eshtayitu? 10, 20, 15. Array same class 10 minutes alli ಹೆಂಗ್ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗೋದು ನಂಬರು? 15, huh? Okay. Yeah, right now you do this. If at all I remember anything, or somehow I'll reach out to you people. Okay, so with respect to the thing, how many of you attended already the analysis part? Some of you are definitely have attended, remaining you have not attended. Prelims analysis, few people have attended, right? Okay, so quickly I will finish it. Okay, I will not take much time. See, while solving the prelims paper, you have to solve it 4 times. In the first 1 hour, you have to touch upon all the 100 questions. You have to touch upon all, make a side by side notes if at all you want. 1 hour all the 100 questions you have to do, but when you are doing it, whichever you are 100% sure, mark those questions. Whichever you have two doubts, mark them also. Whichever you can eliminate one question, that also you eliminate. You do this particular exercise in the first round only. In the second round, whichever you have two doubts now, directly come to those only those questions. So roughly in the first question, you had around let us say 25 questions you attempted, which you are 100% sure, 20 to 25. In the second one, two doubts will be there, at least 30-40 questions will be there. If you are really well prepared, 30-40 questions will be there. Okay, so 30-40 questions will be there. Then in the third round, you attempt only the 3 doubts wala, which one option you eliminated, remaining 3 were there. Okay, and in the last fourth round, where you don't know anything, you literally don't have any idea, you are just attending that particular part. So you attend that question. So roughly this will take 1 hour. The second round will take another 20 minutes. This will take another 25 minutes. Last 10-15 minutes will be there for your fourth round. So go in this order only. 4 times you will reading, because ಒಂದು ಸರಿ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ ಓದಿ ಒಂದೇ ಟೈಮ್ 4-5 ಸರಿ ಓದೋ ಬದಲು, if you're going in cycles, no, your brain has time to think about it, right? So you do this particular part with respect to solving the paper. Now, with respect to this thing is only with respect to the wrong and non-attempted questions. Wrong and non-attempted questions, not for all the questions. So here you do, tally, right? You write down the numbers, you do tally, you know that, right? So what you do is, there are 4 numbers here. So one is for those questions where you don't have any idea, 0% idea, knowledge illa. Okay, so you don't know anything, so no idea questions. Wrong ಮತ್ತು non-attempted questions ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ you just mark down number 1. For those questions where you are confused between president or governor, president or parliament, this bill or that bill, confusion ittu, you have studied about it, but somewhere confusion was there. That is your lack of conceptual clarity. Third is for silly mistakes. You didn't read the non-correct. When you are marking the OMR, you did a mistake. It is beyond that particular part. Are you understanding? Yes or no? Fourth one is your excessive guessing. Excessive guessing. So, let us say out of 40 questions, you got 15 questions this, 10 questions got this, 5 questions got this, and 5 questions you got this, rough figures. Okay. Ee tara sikkide. So that means 15 question maximum idide andre, that means your static part agirbodu, current affairs agirbodu, it's not complete. You are not reading sufficient material. That is what is the indication, because you don't have any idea about it. Idu jaasti ide andre, you need more number of revisions. This means you are doing silly mistakes, means you are a guldu. Okay, because you cannot do mistakes by your own hand. One question ಮಾಡ್ತಿದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ 2.6 marks you are losing. You cannot tell me that you didn't mark incorrect. You cannot tell ಇದೇನೋ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಮಾಡಿದೆ, OMR ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ. What are you telling? It is your 100% mistake. If you are all you're doing, this should be 0. This 100% should be 0. Okay, because these are all your silly mistakes. Excessive guessing, you have a thing that okay fine, you can guess over it. On logic or the tricks I gave you that particular time, common sense in there you are giving this particular thing. Okay, so this is with respect to wrong and non-attempted questions. Then comes your one more category for all the questions. For here what you can do is, this is for all the questions. You can mark Y for those questions where you are 100% correct and you got it correct. 100% correct and you got it correct also, right? You can mark wrong where you thought it was correct. 100% ನಂಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಿ, but it turned out to be wrong. It turned out to be wrong because you got confused or something happened. It turned out to be wrong. Are you understanding this particular category? This is a very important category because many of you are going to do mistake in this part only. So you thought correct but went wrong. So next comes the two doubts ka, 2 DC and DW you can write. Two doubts ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಯಿತು ಎಷ್ಟು ರಾಂಗ್ ಆಯಿತು, two doubts ಅಲ್ಲಿ, right? And then correct guess and wrong guess, this is for 3 guesses wala. So there are how many iterations? 6 iterations. You mark everything. So how many iterations you got? 6 iterations here, 4 iterations here, 10 iterations. Along with this you also add let us say the time taken, how much time it took for you for solving the paper. Strictly 1 hour 45 minutes, so maximum 1 hour 50 minutes. Solve in your mocks like this. In the exam hall you will do in 2 hours. Mocks ಅಲ್ಲಿ 2 hour ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ರೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ exam ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ಕಾರಣಕ್ಕೂ ಪೇಪರ್ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಇವತ್ತಿಂದ ಅಭ್ಯಾಸ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, 1 hour 45 minutes 1 hour 50 minutes ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ ಅಂತ ರಿಯಲ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮುಗಿಯುತ್ತೆ. Okay, so time taken, you could keep a track, and obviously OMRL ella ಮಾಡಿ. Don't just write it and leave it. Write it OMR, write it OMR, write it OMR. Total again 1 hour 45 minutes, right? Then that day I told you about instinct ratio also, right? So for example, for excessive guessing, you are feeling it from inside, this is the correct answer. No logic, no knowledge, nothing. You're feeling from inside, oh, it correct agide anta. That is your instinct, right? So anta questions ಎಷ್ಟು correct ಆಯ್ತು ಎಷ್ಟು wrong ಆಯ್ತು. So you got 3:2, 3 correct and 2 wrong ಇತ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ your instinct is good. 2:2 ಇದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ okay fine, you can trust your instinct. But if you get 1:5 or 0:6, don't trust your instinct. You are the best judge for yourself. You know your instincts, how it works, how it doesn't work, right? So make sure you are taking those two also. And obviously the marks, accuracy, adala you know thing. Apart from this, you know that thing, right? Marks ಎಷ್ಟು, accuracy ಎಷ್ಟು ಅಂತ. If at all you want to go beyond this also, you can do subject wise also. But this will be sufficient enough. And don't think that it's going to take a lot of time. People who have done it 5 minutes max. 5 minutes max ಅಷ್ಟೇ. It won't go beyond that. ಅನ್ಸ್ಬೋದು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ, ಬಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ maximum 5 minutes. So basically 2 hours every day, 30 minutes of seeing that particular, making short notes and reading the analysis part, 5 minutes for this. Maximum 2 hours 45 minutes every day if you are spending for mock papers, that will be sufficient. Remaining 7 hours, 2 hours you do current affairs. So can I erase it? So every day let us say 3 hours from now on for the next 40 days. 3 hours you are doing your paper plus analysis, test paper, not your newspaper. 2 hours you are doing your current affairs, 5 hours you are doing your static. If you are able to do this, from now on, maybe 2 days or 2 times of from now, 2 times static revision and 3 times current affairs revision. That will be sufficient from 40 days. Obviously 3 times revision, it's beyond not possible. But at least you should be able to target 2 times static and 3 hours of your current affairs. Every day if you're doing, 10 to 12 hours, the next, 3 weeks, 12 hours, and after that 10 hours, it will be sufficient. How many of you are actually doing it? I know 1 or 2 only, but is there anyone who is consistently doing this 10 to 12 hours? Anyone is there? No. ಎಷ್ಟು ಅವರ್ ಓದ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಲ್ಲ? 8 ಎಷ್ಟು ರೀ? 5 ಎಷ್ಟಪ್ಪ? Arey, when will you do it? You are giving this attempt, no? When will you do then? You have to finish the targets, right? So make sure you're doing this particular part with respect to analysis also. So is there anything else? I think in 5 minutes it will be 2. I think we have to wind up the session. So is there anything else? Okay, so if at all you have any particular doubts or anything, yeah, I'll be there. Before going to the training or something, I'll be there. Most of you, you know me personally. You can message or call. Whatever doubts is there, just remember one thumb rule. Whatever doubt you have, clear it then and there itself. Don't waste time on it. ಏನೋ ಒಂದು ಡೌಟ್ ಬಂತು, ಒಂದು ವಾರ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಆಯ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ 1 ವಾರ ವೇಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ ನೀವು. ಏನೋ ಡೌಟ್ ಬಂತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ you get it cleared from someone. Okay, and obviously if you have any particular mental stress or anything, share it with your friends or family. If not, with a stranger also. If not, there are multiple Bumble, Tinder, etc., where you can go to a stranger, talk over there, and then you leave it. So but somehow you tell off whatever is required. Okay, so is there anything else? So I think it was a productive session today. I hope it is a productive session today. So till then, good luck for your prelims exam. And yeah, as I was telling, do what is required for the exam, you will clear. Don't waste time here. Okay, thank you guys, thank you so much.